Chapter 1199. Dragon transformation erupted. Fong Ping did not care either. This was how outstanding people were. They would be envied wherever they went. The light could not be concealed. Seeing the old man's outburst, Fong Ping laughed. "Senior, you can just listen to these things. I'll help when I need to help. As for the rest, you can do as you see fit." "I'm about to die. How can you die so easily?" Fong Ping was speechless. "There are many ways to survive. Advancing to Heavenly King. Won't that prolong your lifespan?" Dragon transformation's face darkened. Today's atmosphere was completely ruined. "You said it like it was a game. Was it that easy? Other treasures that can prolong life." "No." Fong Ping laughed. "I know you don't. Come, I'll give you a fat baby to lick. Let's see if it can live a few more days." As he said that, Fong Ping carried a fat baby out. The little baby struggled and squeaked. He was a little unwilling. Dragon transformation's expression changed slightly. After looking for a long time, he said hesitantly, "Fountain of longevity? Yes. They've all become spirits?" Dragon transformation was surprised. They had all become spirits? Fong Ping nodded, smiling as he pushed the baby forward, his butt facing dragon transformation. "Come, you lick a few times and see if it works." Dragon transformation's expression stiffened again. What do you mean?" "If you say, 'Give me food and drink,' I won't say anything. Lick a few times and face me with your butt." Although this was a spirit in spring water, don't you feel awkward? Senior doesn't like it? Fong Ping hesitated for a moment, saying, "Fat baby, try spitting some saliva for Senior." The fat baby spat out a mouthful of saliva. It understood this. Saliva poured down. Dragon transformation's celestial emperor's face was wet. At this moment, Dragon transformation's expression was extremely stiff. He really wanted to beat someone to death. "Is it useful?" Dragon transformation looked at him, a little sullen, saying in a low voice, "Can't there be some normal methods?" Dragon transformation's celestial emperor was mentally exhausted. He was silent, licking the saliva on his face. After a while, he raised his eyebrows slightly. "Rich vitality, there's some effect, but it's too little. Very quickly, Fong Ping brought out the 3 plump babies again. He said quickly, "Spit at him together. Spit more, and I'll feed all of you delicious food later." Pooh, pooh. At this moment, the 4 fat babies were frantically spitting saliva at Long Huan. The 4 babies surrounded him from all sides and spat wildly. Anyone who saw this scene would probably break down. Dragon transformation into Heavenly Emperor also did not feel good. What was this? What the hell was this? Spit on me? Yet he still gave them benefits, but why did he feel so aggrieved? The 4 dolls spared no effort, and their saliva was splashed all over their bodies every time. Heavenly Emperor Dragon transformation's aged fleshy body was absorbing those saliva. Gradually, the somewhat wrinkled skin recovered some luster. Heavenly Emperor Dragon transformation simply closed his eyes and growled in a low voice, "Come." A masochistic look. Fong Ping coughed dryly and laughed. "Senior, don't. That little guy, don't poop. Enough." Heavenly Emperor Dragon transformation opened his eyes, thinking that Fong Ping was scaring him. In the end, he saw that a fat baby was really using his butt to face his mouth. Dragon transformation's face turned green. He gritted his teeth and said, "It's about time. I feel that I can live for at least 3 more months. That's enough. That's it." As he said that, he stretched out his hand and grabbed, flicking the little fat baby with his butt rising away. It was really enough. Living for 3 more months was enough. If not, they would talk about it again. He could not stand this kind of method. It really made people break down. Fong Ping was a little surprised. Very quickly, he raised his eyebrows and said, "Senior is thinking. It's enough to sustain a great battle. It won't let this old man die halfway." Dragon transformation had regained his composure at this moment. It was easy to say. Fong Ping was a little surprised by his choice. Enough vitality to sustain a great battle. Was he going to use one battle to advance to Heavenly King? Previously, he was old and dying. Even if he advanced in battle, he might not succeed. Most likely, he would still die. But now, after replenishing some vitality, the old man actually had the idea of advancing. It's been a few years since I advanced to saint. I've walked about 90,000 meters on the Tao. Above 80,000 meters, he could be considered a saint. 90,000 meters was not considered weak, even among saints. All these years, I haven't slept. There are advantages and disadvantages. You've seen the disadvantages. The advantage is that this old man has always been awake, and his combat power is at its peak. If I sleep, my control of power will more or less decline. I'll need some time to adapt. The current me is underestimating, but I'm also at the peak. Dragon Transformation stood up and said self-deprecatingly. Initially, this old man thought that living to this point should be enough. One last battle, kill a few enemies, and leave some capital for my daughter. But today, after saying those words, Yu Fangping actually looked down on a saint. If I die after killing a saint, won't I die in vain? He was provoked by Fangping. He thought that if he killed a saint, the humans should be grateful, right? So Fangping did not care. Then what was the use of exhausting himself to kill a saint? He did not give the right favor. He was really provoked. No, if he wanted to die, he had to kill a heavenly king before he died. This way, the humans would remember the favor, right? Of course, now is not the time. Dragon Transformation stood up and said, Now, there are many saints here. Those who have a grudge against you humans are Ping Yu, the three ancient saints, the two kings of the catacombs. These must be your enemies. The three ancient saints are one. The two kings of the catacombs are one. It's very difficult for me to kill them. How about leaving Ping Yu to this old man? You want to kill a saint to prove your Tao? Maybe I'll be killed by him to prove my Tao. Dragon Transformation laughed and said, Everything is possible. He's also an ancient venerable emperor, just a few years later than me. That old thing Yulong Tian is not much weaker than me, but after sleeping for a few years, he can still live. Yulong Tian doesn't seem to have a dispute with you guys. Fang Ping nodded. Those who have a dispute are these for now. Heavenly Emperor Ping Yu was also the master of the four Brahmas, so he was not a weakling. It was hard to say whether Dragon Transformation could kill him. Everyone was about the same. In a battle of life and death, who would emerge victorious depended on luck. At this time, Dragon Transformation regained his fighting spirit. He laughed and said, After all, I studied under a sovereign, and under the first sovereign, the Divine Emperor. Ping Yu's master was only a saint back then. How can he compare to me? No matter whether I succeed or not, killing him is in line with the interests of your human race. As soon as he finished speaking, Dragon Transformation soared into the sky and laughed. This old man is leaving. Ping Yu also has a saint token. I'll get it and give it to you. Fang Ping did not persuade him, nor did he get involved. These ancient saints wanted to prove their Tao, but at this moment, they were lacking something. Essence, spirit, and soul. Yes, or rather, fighting spirit. Without a battle of life and death, it was difficult for these people to arouse their fighting spirit. It had been too long. It had been too long since they had a battle of life and death. These people had almost forgotten this feeling. At this moment, although they had lofty aspirations, they could not arouse that essence, spirit, and soul. Essence, spirit, and soul were not in harmony. This was a huge obstacle to martial arts cultivation. Killing a saint was not the goal. The key was to enter that state in a battle of life and death, to find that original feeling. That was why many people treated fighting as a means to advance. After the old man Dragon Transformation left, the few little kids were still a little dissatisfied. They had not finished vomiting. Fang Ping ignored them and kept them back into the source world directly. Touching the saint token in his hand, Fang Ping was a little excited. 7 tokens. 36 saint tokens. He had collected 7. His wealth had also increased. A saint's order could bring him almost 15 billion wealth points. After refining this saint token, I might not become stronger, but my source world will be wider. Fang Ping was delighted. 6 saint tokens allowed him to expand to more than 100 meters in diameter. Maybe 12 tokens could make it to 200 meters. If 36 tokens, he wondered if it could reach 600 meters. Although it would get harder in the later stages, the more saint tokens he had, the more useful it would be. These two might be equal. Very soon, Fong Ping refined the saint token, and his source world expanded a little again. In the next moment, Fong Ping restrained his aura and flew away. You want to look for someone else? More than an hour later, Fong Ping had just appeared when he saw someone and said, "Heaven bang!" The void exploded. Heaven's fate ran away without saying a word. Yes, he ran away. A heavenly king powerhouse ran away the moment he saw Fong Ping. While fleeing frantically, Heaven's fate transmitted his voice. "Don't chase me. Did you hear me? I'm a lunatic. Don't force me. A lunatic can do anything. Don't force me. I'm a lunatic. Go away." Heaven's fate ran very fast. Fong Ping was dumbstruck. What was wrong? I didn't do anything to you. Was this lunatic really crazy? Did he misunderstand something? Prince Heaven's fate. I'm Fong Ping, the Fong Ping of the humans. Go away. Heaven's fate roared, asking you to go away. What did you think? If you weren't Fong Ping, I wouldn't have run. Just because you're Fong Ping, I ran. None of the humans are good. You, Fong Ping, even more so. Don't think that you only have saint-level combat strength. Look at who doesn't look gloomy at the mention of you. Stay away from me. Prince, I mean no harm. Good intentions won't do. Heaven's fate was terrified. Bad intentions were still acceptable, but good intentions were even more terrifying. What were you trying to do? Fong Ping was stunned. You were a heavenly king, and I had the combat strength of a saint. Why did you run? Why was your tone so horrifying? Did you see a ghost? Fong Ping was stunned. What did I do to you? I don't think I've talked to you before. Today was the first time I said it, but he was not as fast as a heavenly king. Therefore, under his dumbstruck gaze, Heaven's fate ran away. It was not that there were no people in all directions. At this moment, there were still people who were stunned. In the next moment, someone said in horror, "Go. A human king can kill a heavenly king." Look, the Heaven's Fate Prince was so terrified. Could it be that Fong Ping could kill a heavenly king? Otherwise, would this heavenly king, the Heaven's Fate Prince, need to be like this? At this moment, within a radius of thousands of miles, all the powerhouses who were at odds with the humans fled. Terrifying, a human king came, and he even chased after the Heaven's Fate Prince. If they met, even a heavenly king would have to kneel. 1 to 10, 10 to 100. While Fong Ping was still depressed about why the Heaven's Fate would run when they met him, the huge Spirit Emperor Dojo was already spreading the news that a human king could kill a heavenly king. The Heaven's Fate Prince was being chased. He fled pathetically, his whereabouts unknown. Fong Ping was still being chased. All the powerhouses must run faster when they met Fong Ping. Fong Ping still did not know that his notoriety had spread everywhere in an instant. At this moment, Fong Ping wanted to find a saint token. He would first find someone who was alone. Boundless Mountain's Heavenly Emperor Boundless, Immortal Seeking Island's Priestess Wen Xian, Weiyu Mountain's Venerable Emperor Qing Tong. These people all had a saint token. Fong Ping, who was looking for a target everywhere, soon met another saint. Venerable Emperor Qing Tong, Weiyu Mountain's Venerable Emperor, the leader of the southern sect. When this saint saw Fong Ping, he frowned. Why did he meet this guy? Fong Ping was more difficult to deal with than other heavenly kings. Heavenly king powerhouses were still somewhat particular, but Fong Ping was not particular about anything. Seeing Fong Ping, Venerable Emperor Qing Tong also wanted to escape without saying a word. Fong Ping knew that this saint, who had fought against the divine sect before, was not considered an enemy of humans. At this moment, seeing that he was about to escape, he hurriedly said, "Venerable Emperor Qing Tong, don't you want to know more about Weiyu Mountains?" Qing Tong stopped, turned back to look at him, and sighed. Weiyu Mountain has no grudges with humans. The Sword King in your human star town is under my tutelage. Fong Ping smiled. Of course there's no grudge. When you were not around, we worked very happily together. Weiyu Mountain's Jiang Kue and I have always worked together. Oh right, Jiang Yao has achieved true God. Do you know, senior? This time, Qing Tong's interest was piqued. He asked, Jiang Yao has achieved Dao. That's right. Fong Ping smiled. The catacombs has established the heavenly court, and 9 saints are suppressing it. Weiyu Mountain is in a difficult situation now. Wanwu Mountain has North Emperor's bloodline, but you guys don't. Now the catacombs are forcing Weiyu Mountain to surrender. Our human powerhouses have even helped Weiyu Mountain to repel the enemies. Wanwu, North Emperor's bloodline. Venerable Emperor Qing Tong thought for a while before saying, Weiyu Mountain is not without a background. My master is from the Emperor God's bloodline. Of course, my master only listened to the Emperor God's bloodline for a few years in the past. I've never crossed paths with the Emperor God's bloodline. However, even if the catacombs rebuild the heavenly court, they won't attack Weiyu Mountain rashly. I achieved Dao as a saint more than 2,000 years ago. I once defeated Qingma Saint who was still alive. The catacombs know this. If I'm not dead, they won't dare to do anything rashly, right? He was dubious about Fong Ping's words. He was not dead yet. This southern sect leader had achieved Dao as a saint for thousands of years. He had defeated a saint in the past. Without a heavenly king, how would they dare to attack Weiyu Mountain rashly? Were they not afraid that he would come back to cause trouble? Fong Ping smiled. They have a few heavenly kings. Why would they care about this? Of course, I didn't kill them. I just wanted to tell you that I have no grudges with you. We've worked together before. I know you have a saint's token. Qing Tong frowned slightly. The saint's token is a holy weapon. It's also my weapon. I only have this holy weapon. If the King of Man wants a holy weapon, I'm afraid I won't be able to comply. This was his weapon. How could he give it away so easily? Taking someone's weapon was also a great enmity. Fong Ping was helpless. After thinking for a while, a Saint Great Armor appeared. Senior, how about this? Venerable Emperor Qing Tong frowned slightly. Sacred armor. It's a good thing. A defensive holy weapon is rarer than an offensive one. But I need a powerful attack, not a powerful defense. If there were extra holy weapons, he would definitely exchange them. But there were none. Without an offensive holy weapon, if he wanted a defensive one, wouldn't that weaken his own strength? The lethality of the saint's token is just that. Fong Ping smiled. Senior, you also know that there are many heavenly kings here. Senior, is the integration rate with the saint's token very high? If it's not high, is it strong to add a little increase in combat strength? If that's the case, I think it's more important to stay alive. I'm not the only one who wants the saint's token. Many people want it. After the heavenly king sees the 9 emperor seals, do you think they will collect the heavenly king seals and saints tokens? Senior, do you think you can keep it? Fong Ping said again. There are many people with saints tokens now, but I only have this extra holy weapon. If you don't want it now, I'll find someone else to exchange for it. They might not refuse. When that time comes, Senior, your saint's token will be in your hands. When the fight for the 9 emperor seals comes to an end, the saint's token will definitely be a hot potato. Venerable Emperor Qing Tong smiled bitterly and sighed. They say that you, the King of Man, have a way with words. Indeed, I didn't want to exchange it at first, but after hearing what you said, if I don't exchange it, not only will I lose the saint's token, but I'll also get myself killed. Come to think of it, it makes sense. Forget it. Venerable Emperor Qing Tong was very helpless. Although Fong Ping seemed to be forcing him, his words were not meant to scare him. If the fight for the 9 emperor seals came to an end, the saint's token would really become a hot potato. It was not a bad idea to exchange for a holy weapon armor now. Fong Ping was also smiling. His flesh was stronger, comparable to some heavenly kings. Holy weapon armor was of limited help to him. It was a good thing to be able to exchange for a sage token peacefully. After all, Qing Tong of Weiyu Mountain had no enmity with him. For the sake of the sage token, Qing Tong had forcefully snatched it away. Unless Qing Tong was killed, they would definitely be mortal enemies. How wonderful it was now! Very quickly, a saint's order floated over. Fong Ping tossed out the sacred spirit armor. This time, It was an equivalent exchange. His wealth did not change. Fong Ping did not mind either. The difference in value between the two sacred weapons was not huge. At this moment, Fong Ping was even more satisfied. 8 saint tokens. Venerable Emperor Qing Tong changed his armor and left immediately, unwilling to continue interacting with Fong Ping. Fong Ping was also very depressed. Why did everyone want to beat him up? I didn't do anything. Why is this fake heavenly grave so hostile towards me? Next, I don't have any more saint weapons. Fong Ping also had a headache. What about Heavenly Emperor Wuya and these people? The two venerable sovereigns of the Boundless Mountain and the immortal-seeking island also seemed to have the strength of saints. These two immortal islands were also the two strongest immortal islands among the 33 overseas immortal islands. One was the bloodline of the Eastern Emperor, and the other was the bloodline of the Spirit Emperor. They had no enmity with him. It was not easy to snatch. How troublesome! Fong Ping was helpless. Should he snatch the 3 great sect protectors first? However, these 3 fellows had always been together. Those who could fight saints were really not easy to snatch. The other saints who were alone, do you want to give it a try? Among the 36 saints, there were still a few who were here. Just as Fong Ping was fretting, in a dilapidated building in the Spirit Emperor Dojo, Shui Li's expression was dark. Looking at the innocent Li Wuqi, he said with a slight headache, "My little ancestor, I want to kill you now. Who allowed you to come into contact with the humans? Don't you know how troublesome it is?" Li Wuji's eyes widened as he complained, "Forefather, you left just like that, and you didn't leave anything behind. It was so dangerous at that time. I had no choice. Besides, it's not like there are no benefits for me to come into contact with the humans." "What benefits?" "I've achieved Tao." "That's true." Shui Li's incarnation of a brawny man nodded. This was considered a benefit. Not bad. Li Wuqi glanced at the ancestor, thought for a while, and said, "And there are many benefits." "What?" "Ancestor, don't be too happy and faint from excitement." Bang. Shui Li punched him until his head swelled up. He said angrily, "I, the ancestor, have been through all kinds of storms. During the era of the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors, there was not a day that I didn't see emperors. These are all small matters, it's nothing." Li Wuqi shook his head, his eyes blinking. After a while, he said, "Ancestor, is the Sea Guardian powerful?" Of course, he was one of the 3 Sea Guardians back then, second only to the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors. The Sea of Misery today can be considered as its territory. You and I are both considered as its subjects. Shui Li was more respectful towards the Sea Guardian. He was only an emperor-level bull back then, while that person was already a powerhouse among the heavenly kings. The difference was huge. Even in the South Palace, the Sea Guardian was a VIP, and he could only squat outside the door and watch them talk. "Ancestor, I brought glory to you." Li Wuqi knew that he was in trouble. He changed his mind and said happily, "I surrendered to the humans and made a huge offer." In the end, the King of Humans agreed. "What?" "The King of Humans appointed me as the Sea Guardian of the humans." Bang. Li Wuqi was stomped into the ground. At this moment, Shui Li wanted to beat him to death. "Ancestor, this is a good thing. My clan, Shui Li, is on equal footing with the Sea Guardian. I'm the Sea Guardian, and you're my ancestor. Your seniority is much higher than the current Sea Guardian." Bang! 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 Shui Li turned into a huge golden bull. He wanted to stomp this calf to death. Is he crazy? Appointing him as the Sea Guardian? This is killing me. Isn't Li Wuqi afraid that I'll die? Or do you want me to die and give up my position? The Sea Guardian is still alive. How dare you ask someone to appoint you as the Sea Guardian? Are you tired of living? The only thing that comforted him was that the Sea Guardian of the humans seemed to have a human as well. Otherwise, he would want to eat beef now. This is not a trap. This is a trap for his ancestors. I'll stomp you to death. Shui Li stomped on him again and again. He was filled with grief and indignation. I've only been gone for a few days, and such a big thing happened. Stupid calf. Was this something that was easy to get involved in? And the Sea Guardian, and the Sea Guardian's ancestor, You dare to say it? I'll trample you to death. Ancestor, there's no turning back. The entire 3 realms knows. Do you believe that I won't kill you now? Ancestor, you won't be able to trample me to death. I have the God creation avatar on me, and he's in a deep sleep now. If you step on him again, he'll be able to beat you to death. Shueli was so angry that his lungs almost exploded. Are you threatening me? All right, a little cowardly. God creation envoy. It also knew about this, so it really didn't dare to step on it anymore. If it stepped on him, if it saw that it had stepped on him and was slaughtered for beef, how could it be justified? Calf, you're causing trouble for me. Shueli cursed for a while, then said helplessly, that's the only way now. Sai, I've been guarding 8,000 years. Could it be that I have to make an exception this time? Shueli fell in a deep thought, feeling somewhat helpless. Was Master coming back or not? Seeing that 8,000 years had passed, should he activate it? Chapter 1200. Water Power was considering whether to open the Nan Royal Palace, which he had taken away in the past. At the same time, a storm was brewing in Spirit Emperor Dojo. Fong Ping was collecting saint tokens. It was not that no one had guessed it. There were so many powerhouses here. What was Fong Ping trying to do? Soon, some clues leaked out. In the depths of the dimensional battlefield, the 9 Emperor seals flickered in and out of view. The Imperial aura had been emitted for a long time, but the crowd was still unable to find the exact location of the 9 Emperor seals. They were all top-level powerhouses, Heavenly King stage powerhouses. However, they were unable to find the seal of the 9 Emperors. This caused the Heavenly Kings to be somewhat dissatisfied and puzzled. The 9 Emperor seal must be here, but where was it? Previously, Zhang Tao had drawn out some of the aura of the 9 Emperor seal. The experts of the 8 Kings had used the Heavenly King seal to sense something, but they had not been able to pinpoint the exact location. At this moment, deep within the battlefield, the experts gathered again. King Qian was not interested in the chaos outside. At this moment, he said in a deep voice, "Everyone, we've been searching for the 9 Emperor seals for a very long time, but we couldn't find it at all. Has it been taken away by someone, or is it still hidden here?" Everyone looked at each other. Very quickly, King Sun said slowly, "I'm afraid he's still here." However, the seal of the 9 Emperors has always been perfectly preserved. It was forged by the 9 Emperors and 4 Emperors together, so it probably has some spirituality. Now, it is probably a treasure that has been corrupted by itself. In such a vast land, if the seal of the 9 Emperors was restrained, it would be very difficult to find the corrupted seal of the 9 Emperors. King Jin continued, "Why don't we work together and use the Heavenly King seal to see if we can activate the 9 Emperors seal?" Everyone looked at each other again. They were a little tempted. He couldn't keep searching like this. If he used the 8 Emperor seal, he might be able to activate the 9 Emperor seal. In the crowd, King Kuan said faintly, "We are not emperors after all. The 9 Emperor seal is the core of the artifact. Even using the Heavenly King seal might not be able to activate the 9 Emperor seal. However, it's not that nobody can activate it." King Wu. The crowd was in an uproar. The Sea Guardian raised his eyebrows slightly and said, "That's true." The Martial King absorbed a trace of Emperor Qi from Emperor Ling and activated the seal of the 9 Emperors. If he makes a move, he might be able to find it. King Kuan said lightly, "There's still Fong Ping." What path did Fong Ping take? The way of the human sovereign? If that was the case, then he would have the orthodox imperial inheritance. Since that was the case, he could also activate it. The 9 Emperor seals were probably thrown in by the cat. Did the cat not tell Fong Ping where it was hidden? Therefore, if we want to find the 9 Emperor seals, we still have to rely on the human race. After saying that, he added, "Fong Ping is collecting saints' tokens outside. I'm afraid he's also eyeing the 9 Emperor seals." Everyone, the 9 Emperor seal is different from ordinary divine weapons. It is not a rumor that the 9 Emperor seal can break through the 9 heavens. This king saw it with his own eyes in the past. If the Palm Seal envoy is still alive, he must know about it. The crowd looked at Li Zhu, who had just arrived. Li Zhu was indifferent. Everyone was still looking at him. Li Zhu was a little helpless. Sometimes it really made people feel helpless. They said that he was the one who did it. It was the old cat and the subduing heavenly king, the two old devils. It was useless even if he denied it. He had denied it until now. Perhaps everyone had accepted it, but they still felt that he should know everything that the Palm Seal envoy knew. Being stared at by the crowd, Li Zhu calmly said, "I don't know much about the 9 Emperor Seals. However, it should be true that the 9 Emperor Seals can open a passage to the 9 heavens. In the 3 realms, it's difficult to distinguish the strength of divine weapons. Each has its own function. However, the meaning of the 9 Emperor Seals is different. It may not have strong attack power, but it has many other functions. At least, other than opening the passage to the 9 heavens, I think it might be able to fix the origin." The crowd did not say anything. Fixing the origin should be possible. Some of them had the Heavenly King seals and knew the effect. After another moment of silence, King Qian said again, "Everyone, let's work together and use the Heavenly King seals to locate the 9 Emperor Seals. If it doesn't work, we'll look for the humans. We've been trapped for a few months. We have to fight every day. We've been trapped here for a long time. The 3 realms have changed a lot. This is not a place to stay for long." Do Tian seized the opportunity and said, "If it were up to me, we should capture the Martial King and the Human King now. They must know about it. It just so happens that Fong Ping has collected many saints' tokens. We can save ourselves some trouble." The crowd glanced at him. Saint Tian Kue was a little speechless. "Do Tian, if you want to capture them, you can try. It's about time your master came. You're not qualified." Do Tian was a little aggrieved. As a Heavenly King powerhouse, he did not advance later than Moon Spirit and Tian Kue. In fact, he advanced earlier. However, these people treated him as a weakling. He had no choice. He was almost killed by Fong Ping. Naturally, he could not raise his head among the Heavenly Kings. King Qian and the rest could not be bothered with him. King Qian looked at King Kuan and the rest and said, "King Kuan, King Sun, and King Jin all have the Heavenly King seals. 4 Heavenly King seals might be able to activate the 9 Emperor seals. However," King Qian paused and said, "Since you don't have the Heavenly King seals, I won't chase you away. However, you still have to clear the place. All the saints have left. Some Heavenly Kings. Do Tian, you guys should leave." Do Tian's face turned green. What did he mean? Moon Spirit, Tian Ke, Unquestionable Jian, the 3 of you should leave too. Clear the place. The weak should leave. The fight for the 9 Emperor Seals should not involve these people. At this moment, the few powerhouses were silent. Tian Kue stood far away and did not go near. He scolded, "Get lost. That's a divine weapon forged by my father. Why should I leave?" He was not leaving. He realized he was too weak. He might have a chance to become stronger after obtaining the 9 Emperor Seals. He was not leaving. He wanted to fight for the 9 Emperor Seals as well. He had a good chance. He was the descendant of a sovereign, and the 9 Emperor Seals were forged by a sovereign. He might have the upper hand. King Qian smiled and looked at Hong Yu. "Hong Yu, why don't you show some of your strength? If you're not strong enough, you should leave too." Hong Yu laughed and said softly, "They haven't even activated the 9 Emperor Seals, and they're already fighting amongst themselves. No wonder they can't achieve anything great. Once they can't activate it, aren't they going to look for human powerhouses? If you chase us away now, can you really force the humans to take out the 9 Emperor Seals?" Hong Yu shook his head and sighed. "They're all scattered. No wonder they're forced to this extent." Everyone's expression changed when they heard this. It was not a provocation, but it was the truth. These Heavenly Kings were indeed very scattered. If they did not scatter, they would not have been forced to such a state by the experts of the human clan. If they wanted to be locked up, they would be locked up. If they wanted to stay, they would stay. Moon Spirit smirked. "After chasing me away, I'll cooperate with the humans immediately. I want to see how you're going to obtain the 9 Emperor Seals." What a joke. According to King Qian, apart from those who held the Emperor token, those who remained were powerhouses who had broken 7. They would be chased away if they were Heavenly Kings. However, a Heavenly King was a Heavenly King. So what if a few Heavenly Kings joined forces? It was not like there were no examples of them rebelling. King Qian glanced at the few of them and smiled. After a while, he said, "What you said makes sense. However, why do you have to keep it a secret? We've wasted too much time because of the 9 Emperor seals. Since we've come to this." King Qian paused for a moment before he said what he wanted to say. "If you insist on staying and can't activate the 9 Emperor seals later, don't say that you don't want to fight or participate when we're dealing with the humans." King Qian said coldly, "If there's something to gain, you'll fight. If there's nothing to gain, you'll retreat. Do you think we're fools? If you want to gain something, you'll have to pay the price. If we can't chase you away now, and we can't activate the 9 Emperor seals, you'll disappear when we're dealing with the humans. This isn't the first time you've done this." This was his goal. These fellows were very cunning. When there were benefits, they would come quickly. But when there were no benefits, they would all hide and disappear without a trace. On the human side, the suppressing Heavenly King was very strong. Although King Wu was not too strong, it was not easy to defeat or kill him to force him to take out the 9 Emperor seals. At this moment, Li Zhu also smiled and said, "That's right." Before he finished speaking, King Kuan said impatiently, "Li Zhu, don't give me that. I'm talking about you. Do you think that we're idiots? You can fool us however you want. This time, if you don't do anything, then you'll leave. Otherwise, all the spectators are enemies. Don't blame us for clearing the place. We'll clear you guys first." King Kuan had been unhappy with him for a long time. Other than coming out to stir up trouble, he did not do anything during the battle. Previously, he was forced to reveal his strength of breaking 7, which made King Kuan especially vigilant. Li Zhu laughed. A group of heavenly kings had their own plans. How could it be so simple? However, at this point, everyone was impatient and somewhat dissatisfied. At this moment, if they tried to fish in troubled waters, they might become the target of public criticism. Li Zhu thought about it and said, "Since it has come to this, if we still can't find the 9 Emperor seals from the 4 King seals this time, we need everyone to work together. Otherwise, the big winners this time will be those few humans. Everyone, are you guys trapped here for a few months just to watch the humans reap the benefits? If that's the case, what's the point of staying here? Why don't we leave early, lest we waste time here and risk our lives?" King Qian smiled faintly and said, "We're not fools. We're all smart people. This is also what I want to say. On the human side, Li Zhun is still extremely strong. Even I dare not say that I've seen through his foundation. However, no matter how strong he is, even if he really proves his Tao and becomes a paragon, we're not afraid of him even if we work together. Now, we're like a plate of loose sand. How can we fight against the enemy's 3 strongest humans?" After saying that, he suddenly looked at Unquestionable Jian and said faintly, "Unquestionable Jian, you've reincarnated, right?" Unquestionable Jian ignored him. "You've reincarnated into the human race? I don't care what you want to do, but you better think this through. If everyone gains nothing and you continue to block the other parties with the humans, all the powerhouses here will be your enemies." "Are you threatening me?" "That's right." King Qian said coldly, "Yes, it's a threat." Unquestionable Jian, do you think you're a match for us now?" Unquestionable Jian's gaze was cold as he looked at King Qian. After a while, he said, "I can kill you. How arrogant of you." King Qian's aura exploded, causing the air to tremble. "If you've broken 8, I'll admit defeat. If you haven't broken 8, you can try." The atmosphere was tense. King Kuan and the others also looked at Unquestionable Jian with a smirk on their faces. If Unquestionable Jian really broke 8, they were not afraid. Instead, they would be able to make everyone join forces and kill him together. There were many people who had broken 7. It was not strange for an old antique like the sea-suppressing envoy to be at the peak of 7. If they joined forces, they might be able to kill a powerhouse who had broken 8. Unquestionable Jian looked around and smirked. However, he did not say anything else. No one was surprised. At this moment, even if Unquestionable Jian had the strength to break 8, he would not fall out with King Qian. At this point, King Qian said again, "Now if anyone leaves, you can pretend I didn't say what I said earlier. If you don't leave, it means you agree with what I said earlier. If you attack the humans, you'll have to help." Does anyone want to leave? No one moved. He didn't come here for nothing, King Qian said with a smile. Then, this temporary alliance can be considered to have reached a temporary consensus. Hong Kong, let's try. As soon as he finished speaking, a heavenly king's seal shot into the sky, releasing an extremely powerful aura. Go! On the other side, King Sun and King Jin also shouted. A seal shot into the sky, releasing a shocking aura. King Kuan did not hesitate anymore. He casually tossed out a heavenly king seal. 4 heavenly king seals formed a quadrilateral, releasing an aura that caused the air to tremble. Buzz! Buzz! Buzzing sounds could be heard continuously. However, everyone frowned. In the next moment, everyone broke through the air and teleported hundreds of miles away. King Qian and the others grabbed at the void. In the next moment, their faces were filled with disappointment. King Kuan frowned and said, I can't pinpoint the exact location. The 9 Emperor seal appeared here before. At the back, Do Tian could not help but ask, can the 9 Emperor seal move on its own? Can weapons become spirits too? King Kuan frowned and said, what do you know? Weapons may not be able to become spirits, but the 9 Emperor seal is tainted with the aura of the 9 Emperor. It will become sentient. It will be affected by some aura and move at any time. If it's so difficult to capture, how did the Azure Cat control the 9 Emperor seal for so many years? Everyone could not be bothered with him. Do Tian's expression became even uglier. Everyone sneered in their hearts. We're not your masters. Are we obliged to tell you this? Hong Yu, on the other hand, smiled and said, it's simple. The Azure Cat is not dangerous because the Azure Cat is related to the origin. The 9 Emperor seal is also related to the origin. That's why the Azure Cat can take it at will. If the 9 Emperor seal was so simple, there would not be a Palm Seal envoy among the 3 envoys. Don't tell me you think the Palm Seal envoy is just a random title? Do Tian understood. He felt a little aggrieved. These old antiques looked down on him. It was really annoying. King Kuan did not care about that. He said, try again. If it doesn't work, we can only look for the humans. All right. Everyone agreed. Soon, the 4 heavenly kings used the heavenly king seal again to locate the target. Again and again, he broke through the void, broke through the space, but he failed every time. They could not find it, or rather, they found it but could not capture it. Someone's eyes flickered in the crowd. Were the 4 heavenly kings really unable to find it, or were they deliberately using the opportunity to kill the human cultivators? They could not tell if they did not wield the heavenly king seal. But it was not impossible. Everyone knew that although the humans did not have the most cultivators, they were the most united. They were not like them, who belonged to different forces and could not reach a consensus. As a result, the humans frequently gained the upper hand. Now, they could take this opportunity to unite the various forces. It was also an opportunity. Whether it was true or not, no one said a word. Many people needed this opportunity. Outside the realm battlefield, beside a lake, Zhang Tao looked into the distance, frowning in thought while eating the big fish that Warlord had painstakingly caught. Warlord was panting. The big fish was not strong, but it was hiding in the lake. This lake was similar to the embittered sea and was difficult to detect. He had also spent a lot of effort to catch it. Seeing that Zhang Tao was almost done eating, Warlord could not help but say, leave some for me. I caught it. You're almost done eating. Aren't you embarrassed? I'm a dying man. Get lost. Warlord said grumpily. The more I think about it, the more I feel that something is wrong. If you're really going to die, do you still have the time to eat fish? If you're really going to die, you'll definitely go find Fong Ping and the others. Why are you still hanging around with me? What are you saying? Humph. Warlord snorted coldly. He was full of dissatisfaction, but did not bother to argue. He asked, what do we do next? You go find the other human powerhouses and get them to gather. Zhang Tao's eyes flickered. The situation is not looking good. Those people are getting impatient. The 9 Emperor seal hasn't appeared yet. Fong Ping, this brat, has been domineering and intimidating. This brat is too arrogant. It's easy for those fellows to be afraid. None of these fellows have appeared at Spirit Emperor Dojo. They've all gone over there. If we can't find the 9 Emperor's seal, I suspect that they might join forces against us." Warlord frowned. "Then we're in big trouble. I'm afraid you and Oldly won't be able to handle it." "Nonsense," Zhang Tao said grumpily. "Even if Oldly has broken 8, he might not dare to use it. At most, he'll deal with 2 broken 7 heavenly kings. There are many broken 7 heavenly kings over there. King Qian, King Kuan, Li Zhu, and the Sea Guardian have all broken 7. As for me, among those heavenly kings, the only one I'm confident of dealing with is actually Heaven Reverse." "Are you that scared?" Zhang Tao's expression was ugly. "Nonsense. I'm not that strong. Do you think I've broken 8-7? Haven't I just achieved Heavenly King combat strength?" Come to think of it, he was the real Heavenly King newbie who had just broken 6. The reason why he said he could deal with Heaven Reverse was because Fong Ping told him that Heaven Reverse was best at sealing Dao. His Dao was considered broad, so it would probably be difficult for Heaven Reverse to do it. That was why he was confident. As for the others, even the celestial ones, he had no confidence of dealing with them. Zhang Tao did not say much to him. He said quickly, "Go, find everyone. If we're scattered, it'll be easy for the other party to deal with us." "What about you?" "I'll go over there to keep an eye on them. I don't know where Oldly has gone. There's no one there to keep an eye on them. That kid Fong Ping is focused on collecting saint tokens. If he lets those people join forces, it'll be too disadvantageous for us." "Is Unquestionable Sword over there? Do you think he'll still recognize you as his martial uncle? Don't expect too much from him." Warlord pursed his lips. "That's hard to say. Unquestionable Sword? If it's really, forget it, we'll see." There were some things that he might not be unaware of, but he did not want to say much. Although Fong Ping and the others did not mention it, Warlord was not stupid. He had more or less guessed it. He muttered in his heart, "If it's really him, how many years has he been calling me patriarch since he was my martial nephew? Doesn't he have this little bit of affection?" Zhang Tao said nothing. After finishing the fish, he got up and flew away. His speed was extremely fast. There was no sign of the sickly look he had just now. Warlord looked at the remaining fish bones, a little helpless. He was not doing anything. "If it weren't for the fact that you're under a lot of pressure, kid, I would have King scolded you to death." Warlord scolded. Zhang Tao looked relaxed, but in reality, he was still under a lot of pressure. In this godforsaken place, enemies were everywhere. Even a heavenly king would die without a burial place if they were not careful. Fong Ping's entry actually did not change anything. On the contrary, it increased the pressure on humans. How could Zhang Tao not feel pressured? Warlord was also clear about this. He could not be bothered to fuss over some small things. The stronger a human powerhouse, the greater the pressure. Heavenly kings still had the ability to protect themselves. Fong Ping and Zhang Tao did not. The probability of them dying was too high. Warlord scolded for a while, but a hint of worry flashed across his eyes. "Emperor, beginner Emperor, we can't do anything at all. The Heavenly King's realm is still far from us. Find that kid Li Jun and see if there's a chance to hold back a few saints." Warlord did not delay any further. He quickly flew away and left the place. On the other side, Fong Ping did not find the 2 Catacombs Kings or the 3 Guardians. These people had all run to the space battlefield. However, it was not that he did not gain anything. At this moment, Fong Ping was chasing after Immortal Inquire Island's priestess. As he chased, Fong Ping explained, "I really have no ill intentions. Over at Immortal Inquire Island, Rainbow Butterfly Saint has returned and is on good terms with Song Mao. Back then, Spirit Emperor doted on Song Mao very much. When the war broke out previously, Immortal Inquire Island's fairy Yu Wuhua helped humans and prove her Tao as a true god. She joined forces with us to fight. Although I am not polite to the enemy, I will never do anything to you." In front of him, Priestess Inquire looked very young, but at this moment, she looked helpless. "You want the saint's token? I met Qing Tong, and he mentioned this before. However, the saint's token is a holy weapon. How can it be given away so easily?" Fong Ping, ask yourself honestly. If someone forcefully snatched your god-slaying saber, would you be willing to give it up? Senior, what are you saying? Did I snatch it? Fong Ping explained, I'm not that kind of person. Exchange. Senior, can't you see the current situation? The ownership of the 9 Emperor Seals has been confirmed. The Saint's token is definitely a hot potato. Moreover, the Spirit Emperor's bloodline is on good terms with us humans. If you wander around now, it'll be even more dangerous. Those heavenly kings won't care so much. If there's danger, they'll destroy it. Senior, you have no one to rely on here. If you encounter the hostile heavenly kings of the humans, you'll be in trouble. In front of him, Priestess Inquire's face was livid. What are you going to exchange for it? The god-slaying saber. Priestess Inquire sneered, slightly dissatisfied. Do you think I don't know your situation? Trying to get something for nothing? No matter what you say, it's useless. Fong Ping laughed. Of course not. Senior, no matter how strong the weapon is, it's still a foreign object. I'll exchange 100,000 yuan of imperishable substance and 10,000 cloud origin chi to strengthen you. Isn't that better than the weapon? Priestess Inquire snorted. I've always said that you, Fong Ping, have a lot of things. It's true, but if you want to exchange for a holy weapon, you must be dreaming. 100,000 yuan of imperishable substance was worth 1 billion wealth points. 10,000 cloud origin chi was also worth 1 billion points of imperishable substance. Fong Ping seemed to have made up his mind. 30,000 cloud origin chi. Senior, a strong origin is fundamental. If the saint token is useful to me, who would exchange it for so much origin chi? You won't have anywhere to exchange it. Fong Ping, you underestimate me. It's not like I don't have any savings after so many years. Fong Ping's expression changed for a while. 300,000 yuan of imperishable substance and 50,000 cloud origin chi. If you're still not tempted, then forget I said anything. 36 saint tokens. I don't believe that others won't be tempted. In front, Priestess Inquire looked conflicted. After a while, she gritted her teeth and said, I have enough imperishable substance. Origin chi, give me 100,000 clouds. Senior, are you robbing me? Fong Ping suddenly turned hostile. 100,000 clouds. Senior, you've never accumulated so much in your entire life. Do you really think I won't have to pay the price? Then I'd rather die. Forget it. I'm not exchanging. I'll go look for Heavenly Emperor Wuya. Senior, be careful. If you get robbed later, don't say I didn't warn you. Priestess Inquire cursed in her heart and said, 50,000 is too little. 60,000. Fong Ping was like an Annie haggling in the market. After haggling for a while, he finally agreed to 70,000 clouds. In addition to the imperishable substance, the consumption was not small. 10 billion wealth points. However, if he exchanged it for the saint token, he could increase it by 5 billion points. In addition to a saint token, this deal was still extremely worthwhile. Very soon, the deal was made. The 9th saint token was in his hands. As for Fong Ping, after obtaining the 9th saint token, he quickly refined it and no longer pestered Priestess Inquire. At this moment, he could also feel the signs of an approaching storm. He had been in the fake sky cemetery for 3 days. Other than King Kuan and Li Zhu attacking him once in the beginning, there was no movement after that. It was either they did not come, or if they did, he was afraid that it would be a huge storm. Chapter 1201. After refining the 9th saint token, this was the 3rd saint token that Fong Ping had obtained after coming out of closed-door cultivation. The more saint tokens he had, Fong Ping realized that his origin world was becoming more and more stable and solid. The somewhat illusory origin world was becoming more and more real now. The current Fong Ping strength had also undergone some minor changes. Wealth, 78 billion points vitality, 1,710,000 calories, 1,710,000 calories mentality, 19,999 hertz, 19,999 hertz can be cut, origin world, 2,400 meters vertically, 105% increase, 8,800 meters horizontally, 88% increase, origin world. 155 meters combat techniques, god-slaying saber techniques, plus 9%. Combat techniques combination deduction, 1 million points slash time strength control. 82% limit outburst, 423, 4644 cal slash 5164200 cal in a mountain stream. Fong Ping observed the changes in his data. The origin path had regained its previous length, 2,400 meters vertically, but the increase was only 1%. The 10% decrease in the 100 meters covered seemed to have disappeared completely. In that case, if I cover the first 1,000 meters, my foundation will increase a lot, and it will slowly decrease later. Breaking 6. Right now, Fong Ping's goal was to break 6. His limit had reached the point of breaking 6, but his strength control was still insufficient. 82% strength control. It hasn't increased or decreased during this period. This means that I haven't practiced enough these few days. He used a few days to measure, but he did not know that others used hundreds or thousands of years to calculate. However, Fong Ping was indeed not very satisfied. In a short time, it would be difficult for his strength to have a significant increase. On the other hand, once his control increased, he might be able to break 6 and become a heavenly king powerhouse. It's time to go to the space battlefield. Fong Ping leaped into the air, looking at the dark area in the distance. The Spirit Emperor Dojo was connected to a space battlefield. This battlefield might have been transformed by a weapon master. Right now, a large number of powerhouses were inside. Some of the sages were there as well. If he did not go there and kept hiding in the back, it would be difficult for him to develop wretchedly. Fong Ping no longer hesitated. He moved forward bravely, knowing the difficulties. Only then could he become stronger. Hoping to achieve Heavenly King in the outside world was as difficult as ascending to heaven. I'm coming. A murmur reverberated in the air. Fong Ping had already disappeared completely. It was time to go to the core area. At the same time, a few sages also gathered at the space battlefield. In the periphery, the fortuitous opportunities were almost all gone. At this moment, the remaining people also wanted to go in and try their luck. Perhaps they could pick up some benefits. Earth. Shanghai. The cat fell asleep. This time, it slept very soundly. It didn't wake up for 2 whole days. Fong family. On the lawn. Old Man Li was like an old farmer in the countryside squatting on the ground. He held a cigarette in his hand and took a few puffs from time to time. On the other side, Wu Quishan maintained his image. He chatted with Fong Yuan for a while and sent her away. He turned to look at Old Man Li and said, somewhat speechless, "Mind your image. You're the longevity sword, the famous one. Look at yourself now." Old Man Li raised his head and glanced at him. He moved his chin and pointed at the sweet sleeping cat. "That's the famous Emperor song. Does it have an image?" Wu Quishan was speechless. After a while, he said, "It's a cat. It doesn't think of itself as a powerhouse. How dare you compare yourself to it?" "I don't think of myself as a powerhouse, and I'm not one to begin with." Old Man Li said a few words casually. Soon he said, "Tomorrow morning, I plan to go there." "Do you really believe him?" Wu Quishan frowned. "Can his words be trusted? It might even be a conspiracy, a plot against you. You're the current pillar of humanity. If anything happens to you, then don't always be afraid of something happening." Old Man Li extinguished his cigarette. It shattered instantly, leaving no trace behind. He stood up and said, "You can't always be afraid. You have to try. Now that Fong Ping and the others aren't here, if the other party really invades Earth, it'll be big trouble." As he said that, he glanced at the fat cat sleeping soundly in front of him and smiled bitterly. "Why don't you try and throw this cat out of Earth now?" Wu Quishan was speechless. "Go and throw it yourself." Both of them looked at the cat. Wu Quishan was slightly helpless. "The cat seems to be really asleep. Previously, I wanted to let the cat move to lure the other party out of the restricted area and into the Forbidden Sea. This way, there'll be some safety assurance. However, this cat is asleep now. If you go, you'll have to go deep into the restricted area. It's too dangerous, right under the 9 saints' noses. If you're surrounded and killed, Old Moo and the others won't be able to rescue you. When that time comes, you'll really be alone and helpless. If you go to the Forbidden Sea, you can still get close to the fake sky grave. If something happens, you can still let the cat inform Fong Ping and the others to come back in time. But the cat is asleep. Wu Quishan was really helpless. Now that he had lost contact with the fake sky grave, the connection between humans and the other side was all because of this cat. Who knew that the cat was sleeping soundly? Wu Quishan had already tried to shout a few times. Fang Yuan almost danced on the cat's stomach, but the cat did not wake up. This time it was probably really asleep. Don't always count on this fat cat. At this time, Old Man Li spoke less hesitantly. He laughed and said, "Always count on this cat. How can we live without it?" But the new martial artists are here to kill it. Old Man Li raised his hand and interrupted. Without this cat, the new martial artists might not be our friends. Since the cat is asleep, let it sleep. I'll go and try. It's not that easy to kill me. At this moment, he wore the long sword at his waist, one hand holding the long sword. Nurturing the sword. He had not nurtured the sword for a long time. This time, he did not nurture it for long, just 2 days. However, it was different from before. In the previous battle, he had experienced a lot. Now that he was nurturing the sword, it was no longer vitality nurturing the sword. Power was the only thing. Then he would use his only thing to nurture the sword. Essence, chi, and spirit, including vitality, could all be nurtured for this sword. After 2 days, Old Man Li had aged a little, but his spirit was still very strong. After I leave, be careful. Although the humans today have a lot of external help, there are not many powerhouses that belong to us. The God Creation Envoy is over at Star Town. It seems like she can't come out, and you can't rely on others. You have to improve your own strength faster. As Old Man Li spoke, he took a step and said, "I'll go to MCMU to take a look. You go do your thing." Li. Wu Quishan wanted to say something more, but Old Man Li had already stepped into the void and disappeared. Wu Quishan sighed and squatted down. Looking at the cat that was sleeping soundly, he sighed and said, "Cat, there are some things that I don't want to say, but I still have to say a few words. I don't know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, if something happens to Li Chongsheng, can you make a trip out of Earth? Lure the enemy away. I know this is not appropriate, but there are too few human powerhouses. We can't afford to lose them. You are very capable." After saying a few words, Wu Quishan sighed again and turned to leave. Some things were selfish to say, but he still chose to say it. He would rather let the cat take the risk than let Li Chongqing take the risk. He actually had many ways to lure the cat away, but in the end, he still chose to make it clear to the cat. The Devil Emperor seemed to have tried to scheme against this cat, and it did not end well. It was better to say it directly. Maybe there was still some hope. He left. After leaving, the cat's eyes moved. At this moment, in the source world, a cat was yawning lazily. There seemed to be a voice beside its ear, but it did not. It yawned and muttered. Who was disturbing the cat's dream? At this moment, the cat floated out of the range of the cat's world. It yawned and opened its mouth to continue eating. Yes, eating. Outside the range of the cat's world, there was a lot of delicious food, all kinds of snacks and drinks. The cat moved its body with difficulty, wriggling forward. As it wriggled, it ate. As it wriggled, a small path was opened up in front of it. This was a good idea, thought by the cat. I won't open the path. I'm too tired, and it doesn't have the patience to open the path. But I can eat while playing. It scattered the delicious food in a line, opened up a little, ate a little, and walked along the food. At this moment, in front of the fat cat, there was food. It was too tiring to open the path, but there was food in front, so it could reluctantly move forward a little. His fat body tumbled in the void. In the dark world, it dragged out a trace, like a road, but it was a little curved. The cat's eyes were dazed, and it forgot that it had to open the path. It only remembered that it had to eat. The food in front was delicious, so it could talk after eating. The chubby cat body continued to roll, rolling, stopping, eating a few mouthfuls, sleeping for a while, and continuing forward. Behind it, it was nearly 100 meters away from the cat's world. Meow, eat, eat. I'll be powerful after eating. The cat muttered. It had scattered its snacks 1,000 meters away. After eating it, it should be a little more powerful, right? Everyone was working hard to become stronger. Even that lazy cat had come up with a way to promote itself to become stronger for the first time. In this era, everyone was forced to become stronger, and at the same time, they were all becoming stronger. A group of stronger people were also struggling to become stronger. In the depths of the sea of bitterness, even deeper, in a distant and endless place, a black crack was faintly discernible. The crack ran through the entire world. At the end of the sky, there was a trace of light. An incomparably huge continental plate, like a new world, was floating. Floating in the void, floating in space. It ran through many heavens as if it had existed since ancient times. At this moment, a figure that ran through the world appeared in the darkness. A big golden dog, as big as a star, covered the sky and the earth, particularly dazzling in the dark void. Compared with the huge continent over there, the big dog seemed a little small, but it was still extremely domineering. It roared at the sky, and its roar pierced through the layers of heaven and earth. Is the one feeding the cat okay? The big dog roared and faced it across the air. A giant that seemed to be able to open the sky stepped on the starry sky, holding a giant axe, and laughed. I can still hold on. Heavenly Hound, well done, you finally locked up these old guys. The Heavenly Hound roared again. The one guarding the bathhouse, is he still alive? On the other side, an ancient giant with a dim golden body was lying in the void. At this moment, its voice was weak, but with a smile. Of course. It's not that easy to kill me. Seeing this, the chief steward of the cat palace laughed and said, That's good. You too, seal these bastards. Fortunately, they came, otherwise they would have broken the shackles of heaven and earth. Before the voice died away, on the huge continent in the center, a long spear shot up. Rumble, thunder in the void, like a thunder tribulation. At this moment, in the sky above the continent, countless energy condensed and formed and slashed at the long spear. Huh, you can't seal us. Soon, we'll be back soon. Heavenly Hound, you were lucky to escape back then, and you still dare to come back to die. Today, I'll fulfill your wish. Tianchen, I thought you were dead when you killed the fire god back then. Since you're not dead, why don't you hide? How dare you show yourself? You little thing over there, do you think that you can't die because of the seal of heaven? At this moment, in the center of the continent, an incomparably huge palm, while the energy was slashing at the long spear, slapped out of the continent. Rumble! The universe seemed to be trembling. At the same time, the Heavenly Hound's body grew again, and it roared madly. It's you, old thing. You were the one who attacked me back then. Today I'll swallow you. Heaven devouring. At this moment, an incomparably huge mouth that seemed to want to swallow the entire heaven and earth quickly swallowed the palm. Below, the long spear exploded with countless dazzling lights, and the void was broken layer by layer, causing the heaven and earth to gather countless energy to bombard the palm. At this moment, a few more weapons floated out from below. A long rod, incomparably dazzling, shot out, heading straight for the Heavenly Hound. Before the long rod arrived, the Heavenly Hound's huge mouth began to crack. A fist, even larger than the palm, broke through the void and came for the Heavenly Hound. The Cat Palace's general manager laughed. Do you think I'm a dead man? At this moment, a giant axe fell from the sky. Beginner martial arts should have ended long ago. Ridiculous, Tian Chun. Who dares to say that beginner martial arts should end? Without us, where does martial arts come from? You lucky bastard. How dare you compete with the sun and moon? Rumble! The world was filled with light. The giant axe slashed at the fist, bursting with dazzling light. Energy swept in all directions, and the void was broken again. On the other side, the Heavenly Hound was incomparably ferocious. It bit the palm, making a crunching sound, and vaguely, blood dripped out. Blood shot out, breaking through the void, piercing through layers of heaven and earth. The long rod hit the Heavenly Hound's head with a bang, causing the Heavenly Hound to roar again and again. and the huge dog's head emitted a deafening roar. At this moment, on the other side, the spring guard roared, and his fist broke through the void. In the void, a seemingly transparent figure appeared, chuckling, instantly turning into nothingness, and in the blink of an eye, pierced through the spring guard's fist. The spring guard roared again, and a wave of mental energy swept in all directions. However, the mental energy that erupted was instantly torn apart. Descend, suppress. The spring guard's eyes were bloodshot, and he roared crazily. At this moment, a real world descended. Source world. It was not just a world, it was a star, and this star directly descended here. With a loud bang, it violently hit the void. Source, a cold laugh sounded, and a figure appeared. The figure was holding the star in the void, and with a low laugh, it instantly exploded. Kacha! The sound of cracking could be heard. Cracks appeared on the source star. You broke my source. You're courting death. At this moment, the spring guard completely exploded, and in the void, stars appeared one after another. Not just one, but countless of them. They were not as real as the first star, and they were somewhat illusory, but it did not stop these source stars from bringing source chi. At this moment, the spring guard roared again. All Daos belong to me. In the next moment, all the stars merged into one, instantly turning into a battle suit. The battle suit landed on the spring guard's body. At this moment, the spring guard's aura surged, and he roared angrily. You dare to look down on me? Sherpa? Today, I will kill you, a beginner god, and prove my Tao. As soon as he finished speaking, his fist broke through the void, and he attacked the illusory figure that was breaking his source. That person turned his head, and his eyes exploded. What a good Sherpa! I have really underestimated you. Although the 10,000 Daos you tormented in the past are illusory, you do have some ability. All Daos will eventually return to one. Even if it is illusory, it is still 10,000 Daos. It is enough to kill you. Sherpo's voice was cold. In the past, a top expert who dared to peep at an emperor, who dared to compete with Heavenly Hound, who fought for 300 years, and who could create an origin realm expert. How could he not have any ability? At this moment, the illusory 10,000 Daos returned to one. Even if it was illusory, it seemed to be connected to another world. In the sky above Sherpa, a dead silent world appeared. Endless source chi gushed out and surged into him. The battle suit was like a garment of stars, flickering with starlight. Heavenly Hound, whose head was about to explode from being hit by the long rod, actually had the time to speak at this moment. He laughed loudly. The one guarding the bathhouse is quite capable to actually connect to the origin realm. Looks like you are not far from becoming an ultimate expert. Of course, Sherpa was proud of himself. What are you guys talking about? The cat guard leader scolded. They are asking for death. These two are not reliable at all. Why are they flattering each other at this time? As expected at this moment, the expert holding up the vast planet sneered. Illusions are illusions in the end. The Tao of Origin has so many flaws. It is not worthy to compete with the elementary martial arts. As soon as he finished speaking, an incomparably powerful spiritual force swept over. Almost instantly, a hand that mended the sky seemed to appear in the void. The huge hand appeared and covered the entrance to the dead silent world above the spring guard. The transmission of source chi was interrupted, and the spring guard's aura instantly dropped. Damn it! At this moment, the spring guard was furious. Seal, you have learned the art of sealing the origin. Go to hell. The person holding up the vast planet did not say anything else, and once again attacked the declining spring guard. At this moment, a metal chain pierced through the void, and with a bang, it shattered the hand that sealed the sky. In the next moment, the spring guard's aura recovered, and he punched out. With a boom, the person holding up the vast planet was smashed into pieces. On the other side, the Heavenly Hound bit the palm until it completely broke and hit the long rod with its head, knocking it away and roared. Cat feed. Isn't that my divine artifact chain? This damn guy. Didn't he say he didn't know where it was? Didn't he say he lost it? What was the metal chain that broke the palm just now? The cat guard leader calmly retracted the metal chain and lightly said, "What, yours? This is the spirit-shattering whip that I forged with the essence of the origin. I will bite you to death." The heavenly hound was furious. Who was he trying to fool? That must be his. Even the aura felt a little familiar. Seeing that the heavenly hound was about to attack, the cat guard leader said angrily, "Still messing around. These guys have not completely escaped, and they're all fighting with doppelgangers and weapons. Stop messing around. Fight the enemy properly. Return it to me." "What, return it to you? I will bite you to death." The heavenly hound pounced on him crazily. Not returning his divine artifact, he should just bite him to death. This cat feed actually stole his divine artifact. Hateful, shameful. On the other side, the spring guard, who still had lingering fear, saw this and scolded angrily. "What are you guys doing? Still messing around? I was almost killed." "That's because you're useless." The heavenly hound, who had just praised him, did not hesitate at this moment and said disdainfully. The spring guard's eyes were fierce, and he scolded angrily. "Who are you saying is useless? I have broken 7 holes, pierced through the origin, connected to the origin world, and borrowed the origin chi. Unparalleled talent, 10,000 Daos is 1. Even emperors are inferior to me. You were almost killed." The heavenly hound snorted coldly. The spring guard scolded and said sullenly, "He somewhat counters me. Next time, change to another one. The 2 you fought, if they met me, they would also be beaten to the ground. This one won't do." This somewhat counters him. His 10,000 Daos is 1, after all, was fake, too illusory. Once it was sealed, his strength would fall greatly. If it was a powerhouse of the physical Tao, it would not be too much of a counter to him. The fake 10,000 Daos as 1 would also greatly increase his strength, and he would not fear any ultimate powerhouse. Those who are restrained are trash. The heavenly hound continued to look down on him. Unlike this dog, who was well-rounded and invincible, when I met the one just now, I sealed myself and bit him to death. At this moment, below, the long rod and long spear retreated, and the world returned to silence. The fist and palm disappeared, the illusory figure was broken, and a cold snort came from below, but it did not seem to be a big deal. The heavenly hound did not care about that, and after pestering the spring guard for a while, it triumphantly took back the dog chain that belonged to it. At the same time, the continent below seemed to have erupted into chaos. Rumbling sounds rang out incessantly. The cat guard glanced at it and frowned slightly. The heavenly hound did not even look at it, fiddling with the dog chain for a while, and asked, "Do we charge in now, or continue to seal the world?" "Charge in." The cat guard glanced at it and said with a frown, "Then you go in." The heavenly hound was extremely domineering, and when it heard that, it sneered and directly charged down. The spring guard was stunned for a moment, and the cat guard shook his head slightly, not saying much. A moment later, the heavenly hound's tail was broken in half, and it returned in a sorry state, without saying a word, and glanced at the cat guard smugly. Charge in, or not? As for escaping, that was another matter. The cat guard could not be bothered with it, but the spring guard praised. "You have courage, big hound, continue. Kill them all. These people killed you back then. If you don't take revenge, how can you feel at ease? Go, continue to charge, kill one is one." He kept egging it on, and the heavenly hound bared its teeth, cold and piercingly cold, as if it was going to bite him to death in the next moment. Soon, it suddenly said, "Oh right, I just saw the corpse of the spirit emperor below, stripped naked, and looked at by them for tens of thousands of years. Roar!" The spring guard was furious, and without saying a word, he charged down. The cat guard was very tired enough. If these 2 continued like this, he would have to leave. Otherwise, he would be killed by these 2 sooner or later. A moment later, the spring guard dragged his wounded body back, and with a cold snort, he looked at the heavenly hound with an unfriendly expression. The heavenly hound did not think much of it. It was just a joke, and you took it seriously. If you were not a fool, who was? Stop fooling around. The cat guard scolded and said in a low voice, strengthen the blockade, find a chance to kill 1 or 2 guys, break into the tomb of heaven, and see if there are any emperors trapped inside. The heavenly hound snorted. Those old things. Who knows where they are hiding? Are they really trapped here? If they are really trapped here, they are probably completely dead. It's a waste of time to look. The cat guard did not speak. On the other side, the spring guard did not bother with this dog, and said, "There are parts of the remains of the 4 emperors scattered in this 8th heaven. Was it a trap, or were they really killed by someone?" The cat guard was speechless, and after a while, he said, "You too. Have you forgotten? This old man died 10,000 years earlier than you." 1 man and 1 dog looked at each other, speechless. There was nothing wrong with what he said. This old guy died too early. He really did not know what happened after. What he knew was also what they told him. Asking him now was a waste of time. The heavenly hound also said helplessly, "Back then, this king left early and did not know the specifics. The bathhouse guard. Weren't you the last to die?" "Nonsense, I'm so strong. I was their target from the beginning," Sherpa said gloomily. "When the battle started, 3 palms fell from the sky, almost smashing me into pieces. How could I have the chance to understand, but—" The spring guard suddenly said proudly, "It seems like a 4th palm attacked. It broke the 3 palms. It must be Spirit Emperor who saved me. I knew it. She can't let go of me." The cat guard was tired again, and the heavenly hound was also speechless. "You're already tens of thousands of years old. Why are you acting like Hong Yu in heat?" The spring guard's eyes were sharp, and after a while he said, "If Hong Yu is not dead, he will kill you sooner or later." The heavenly hound said disapprovingly, "What's wrong? So, what if he's not dead? That guy lost to Moon's spirit in bed. This king saw it with his own eyes." The cat guard really felt like his head was about to explode. "Enough!" A reprimand interrupted the conversation between the man and the dog. "What do you think this place is? You're messing around here. P.S. I'm stuck. The lines are a little scattered. There are more things I want to throw out, but it's a little messy. Let me sort it out." Chapter 1202. The true sky grave was at war. In the fake sky grave, Fong Ping had already crossed the void and entered the boundless darkness. Space battlefield, powerhouse's origin. Fong Ping found it hard to understand how the space battlefield was formed. After powerhouses died, why would the origin world transform into a new world, enter space, and become a real and illusory world? One must know that a martial artist's origin world was illusory. Unless there was origin soil, otherwise, no matter how big the world was, it was still an illusory world. But the space battlefield was obviously not. Of course, it might be a kind of seal of origin energy. The battlefield might not be a real world. Fong Ping was not too willing to delve into these things. Spirit Emperor Dojo was connected to the space battlefield. Half was in light, the other half was in darkness. The darkness had no effect on powerhouses like Fong Ping. Although he did not like the dark in a dark environment, he had some advantages. He restrained his aura and could hide better. At this moment, as soon as Fong Ping stepped in, he felt something was wrong. Dead silence. Quiet. This world was too quiet. There were many powerhouses here. He did not know if it was because the place was too big, the people were scattered, or because of something else. Fong Ping felt vaguely uneasy. At this moment, Fong Ping's expression changed. He broke through the air instantly. Bang! A heavenly king's seal smashed down, and the void collapsed. Fong Ping had just dodged it when another heavenly king's seal smashed down from behind. Bang! This time, it hit solidly. Crack! The golden body exploded, blood spurting out. This was just the beginning. In the next moment, a palm fell, trying to capture Fong Ping. Slash! Fong Ping roared. The god-slaying saber erupted with a dazzling light. He roared madly. On the blade, the origin energy was extremely rich. He was ambushed. There was actually a heavenly king ambushing him, and it was not just one. The giant hand fell directly. Fong Ping slashed it with his saber. With a splat, the palm was slashed and blood splattered everywhere. However, the palm was still falling. It was incomparably huge, wrapping Fong Ping in it directly. Not only that, at this time, Even the surrounding void was fixed. Two heavenly king seals hid in the void, sealing off the surroundings. Someone wanted to kill Fong Ping in one hit. Li Zhu! Fong Ping roared, waving his saber wildly. If you can't kill me today, I will avenge you in the future. Fong Ping, there's no use in talking. You and I were enemies to begin with. Back when you entered Heavenly Plant City, this king didn't take action because of a momentary lapse of thought. Yet now, you've grown so quickly that everyone fears you. If you don't die, the three realms won't be at peace. Let's give it a try then. Fong Ping let out a violent roar, his palm coming toward him. At this moment, beside Fong Ping, 9 saint tokens surrounded his body like a shield, merging into one to resist the pressure coming from the palm. 2 more heavenly kings had attacked him, King Sun and King Jin. In order to ambush and kill him, they had actually sent out 3 heavenly king stage powerhouses. Furthermore, they had used the heavenly king seal to seal off the void, locking his aura and preventing it from leaking out. Fong Ping did not expect to encounter such a dangerous situation as soon as he entered this place. These people had never joined forces in the past, so it was difficult for individual heavenly kings to kill Fong Ping. But now, there were 3 of them. There was also Li Zhu, who had broken through the 7th level. The 9 saints' tokens shielded the gigantic hand, preventing it from squeezing down. Fong Ping's entire body was gushing with fresh blood. The pressure was too great. A heavenly king who had broken 7. At the very least, it was an outburst of 10 million cow. Even though he had 9 sage tokens to neutralize the force, and he had also unleashed his own attack, it was still difficult for him to block it. Li Zhu! Fong Ping roared angrily again. Do you really think you can kill me? Heavenly King? King Wu? Li Zhu's laughter could be heard. Heavenly King Jin has been lured away by King Qian and King Kuan. King Wu has been trapped by Sea Guardian. Fong Ping, you should be proud. In order to deal with you, the 3 of us have moved out together. The 3 heavenly kings were all experienced. King Sun and King Jin were both ancient heavenly kings. They might have the ability to break through the 7th level. Of course, they did not show it at this moment. Fong Ping's eyes were cold. Hopeless situation. He had just arrived. These people had already determined that he would come and had already made preparations. Old Zhang and Heavenly King Jun were trapped. A dead end. It was really a dead end. Fong Ping was finding it harder and harder to hold on. Even if he kept recovering his vitality, the 9 saints' tokens had been compressed to his side and were even starting to get close to him. Fong Ping smiled bitterly. He was too careless. He was still too careless. He did not expect these people to be so determined. They had already made preparations to ambush and kill him. He had wanted to enter this place to fish in troubled waters, but these people did not give him the chance. Li Zhu was more decisive than expected when he needed to be. Kill Fong Ping. Bang! There was an explosion. Fong Ping could not withstand the huge pressure. His golden body began to explode, flesh and blood flying everywhere. Li Zhu's giant palm clenched tighter and tighter. At this moment, Li Zhu seemed to be impatient. He said, "Both of you, let's attack together. Let's end this quickly." As soon as he said this, 2 laughs came from the void. In the next moment, the 2 heavenly kings attacked. At this moment, a burst of light exploded in the distance. Zhang Tao soared into the sky. Covered in blood, he cursed, "Sea Guardian, do you really want to be the enemy of the human race? Damn it, release the restriction, or you will be in serious trouble today. Find the 9 Emperor Seals, and I will let you go. I only want the 9 Emperor Seals." Sea Guardian's voice was indifferent. He did not want to get involved in the fight between the human race and other forces, but he wanted the 9 Emperor Seals. He besieged King Wu to get the 9 Emperor Seals. Zhang Tao roared, "I'll give it to you. Let go of me first. If Fong Ping is dead, don't even think about taking anything." In the depths of the void, there was a sudden explosion between heaven and earth. An incomparably huge and burly figure emerged. The subduing heavenly king said coldly, "King Qian, King Kuan, Do you two really want to go against me? In that instant, he was blasted into the void. He broke through the origin battlefield and entered the space rift directly. When he came out, the situation had already developed beyond his expectations. More than 10 Heavenly King powerhouses had actually reached an agreement easily. This was faster than expected. At this moment, they were very far away from Fong Ping. Fong Ping was the weakest. Besieged by 3 Heavenly Kings, he might not last long. If it were not for his 9 refinements of golden body and the protection of the 9 saint tokens, he would have been crushed by Li Zhu. A Heavenly King with a broken 7 refinements was not someone Fong Ping could compare to. Fong Ping and the other 2 had miscalculated. Although they had guessed that these people might have some ideas about them, the speed at which so many Heavenly Kings reach an agreement was still faster than they had expected. The human race was getting stronger and stronger. It had already become a threat to these people. Bang! His bones exploded. Fong Ping's leg bones exploded directly. At this moment, Fong Ping growled in a low voice. Vitality gushed out desperately to maintain the operation of the 9 saint tokens. His wealth was depleting rapidly, but Fong Ping could not care about this. The 9 saint tokens rotated wildly, counteracting the pressure from 3 Heavenly Kings. However, although the 9 holy weapons were powerful, Fong Ping's own strength was not enough. What could he do? Even the 9 divine weapons could not be saved at this moment. At the same time, elsewhere, the Demon Emperor and the others had gathered. Celestial Polarity, Moon Spirit, Demon Emperor, Sky Chief, the 3 Guardians, the 2 Catacombs Kings, Heaven Reverse, and Hong Yu in the distance. In Feng's avatar, Heaven Reverse glanced at the Demon Emperor out of the corner of his eye, full of vigilance. Not far away, he closed his eyes and stood proudly in the void, not making a sound. His avatar had been repairing previously. He walked out now, not because of his combat strength, but to prevent the Demon Emperor from attacking. Unquestionable Jian kept his head down, not saying a word. Celestial Polarity was a little uncomfortable. He moved a little further away before saying, King Qian and the others are really loyal. They did not let us attack, just watch the show. Everyone ignored him. Loyal? King Qian and the others only excluded some uncertain factors to prevent them from suddenly changing their minds midway and counterattacking. That would be even more troublesome. If they didn't do anything, that would be the greatest help. Heaven Reverse and the others were here to watch them. Celestial Polarity saw that no one was paying attention to him, but he did not mind. He said they think very highly of Fong Ping. With the 3 Heavenly Kings attacking, Fong Ping is dead for sure? That's good too, lest this guy starts talking nonsense. No one paid attention to him. At this moment, Moon Spirit looked at the place where the golden light exploded. Around Fong Ping, 9 saint tokens were spinning, but how could they match up to the 3 Heavenly Kings? At this moment, his golden body was exploding continuously, the booming sounds echoing in all directions. This human king who advanced with 2 saint tokens was indeed powerful. Outside the crowd, even Heaven Reverse was a little shocked. If he fought Fong Ping one-on-one, he might not be able to kill Fong Ping. Fong Ping's golden body was too strong, and with the protection of 9 holy weapons, the key was that Fong Ping actually had enough energy to expend. This was even more terrifying. Ordinary broken 6 Heavenly Kings might not be able to do anything to Fong Ping. Human King, Moon Spirit said lightly, her tone cold. No one knew what she meant. She said in a low voice, if he can't avoid this, he will be a fake human king. Everyone was speechless. When the 3 Heavenly Kings attacked, even a perfected king would die. It was not a sin of war. It could only be said that human powerhouses should not be so outstanding. If they were too outstanding, it would definitely make everyone wary. He was the main character of this era, and yet he was so dazzling. Who would not be wary of him? If he had an internal conflict with Zhang Tao, it would be better. However, the 2 human kings of this generation were teachers and friends, and they supported each other. This was even more frightening. In the distance, Zhang Tao roared crazily. At this moment, the Book of Great Tao appeared, and the pointer turned into a blood saber, slashing wildly at a mirror in the air. "See, calming mirror." The sea guardian suppressed him. "Oldly do it. Hurry up. Do you still want to hide?" Zhang Tao roared. His eyes were blood red, and he roared, "Do you want to watch him die? Your 8,000 years of planning will go down the drain with his death. Today, you will watch him die. Even if the human race remembers your kindness, if you watch the human king die, the human race will not do as you wish." In the distance, the heavenly king's expression was ugly. He shouted angrily, "What do you know? You don't know anything. You only know how to talk nonsense." At this moment, the heavenly king punched. Without the slightest fluctuation, he punched out. However, King Kuin's expression was solemn. He also swung his sword, and his fist and sword collided in the void. The others did not feel anything, but King Qian, who was standing at the side, had his face flushed red. A wave of energy spread out and severed one of his fingers with a pfft sound. A top-notch heavenly king with a breakthrough of 7. King Qian, the leader of the 8 kings, was an expert with a breakthrough of 7. Today, one of his fingers was severed by the shockwaves from the battle between the two of them. The heavenly king cursed in his heart. He looked at King Kuin as if it was the first time he met him, and his eyes were cold. King Kuin was indifferent and did not continue to attack. He looked at the heavenly king and said calmly, "Even if you're stronger than me, there's a limit to your strength. During these days, the injuries of my clone have already recovered. It's good that my clone is dead. It has strengthened my determination. Since that's the case, I'll go first. I was a little greedy in the past few years. The earthly sovereign has 2 good sons. You flatter me." King Kuin's expression was a little ferocious as he said in a low voice, "If I don't become stronger, am I waiting for death? In the past, before the war, Father told me that he might not be able to return after leaving this time. The earthly sovereign's bloodline is strong, but it's also weak. The fault lies in Father's inability to support it alone. And now I have a vague feeling. My father may not be able to return to the 3 realms." King Kuin's eyes were slightly red as he laughed at himself. "So, I can only rely on myself. Li Jun, all these years, you've ruined my plans time and time again. Aren't you also bullying the weak and afraid of the strong? Why don't you dare to be enemies with those people? Is it because you're afraid that the people behind them will settle the score? You're not afraid, because that day might not come, right?" King Kuin laughed at himself and quickly restrained all his emotions. He said coldly, "If that's the case, then fight. Whether Fong Ping dies or not, I don't care. If you interfere, I won't let you leave so easily." The heavenly king's face was cold. "Do you know the consequences of killing him?" "I know," King Kuin said lightly. "He's related to the immortal source or the origin. But what does it have to do with me? This world is chaotic enough. Let's make it even more chaotic. If Fong Ping dies, there will always be someone to replace him. Li Jin, right?" As King Kuin said that, he laughed and said, "Besides, I really want to see what will happen if I kill Fong Ping. If I kill him, maybe some of the conspiracies in the past will be exposed, right?" At the side, King Qian did not make a move. At this moment, he frowned slightly and looked at the 2 of them without saying a word. Both of them were slightly stronger than him. Although he was a broken 7 heavenly king, if these 2 were not peak broken 7, they might have advanced to the realm of the ultimate powerhouses. As the situation developed, everyone could not hide their strength anymore. One by one, they erupted. King Qian's gaze was strange. This 3 realms was getting more and more interesting. Bang! His legs exploded completely. His arms were also exploding. Fong Ping no longer roared. His eyes were cold as he suddenly broke into the origin. This time, it was Li Zhu's origin that broke in. The moment he broke in, an incomparably huge giant appeared in front of him and said with a smile, "This road is blocked." Bang! Fong Ping's god-slaying saber was sent flying by Li Zhu's palm, its afterimage overflowing. "Fong Ping, you're still not good enough to destroy my origin." Li Zhu smiled faintly. "If you become a real heavenly king, you might have a chance." "No, you should repair the god-slaying saber." Maybe there will be a chance. The god-slaying saber right now won't do. Having said that, under Fong Ping's slightly shocked gaze, Li Zhu reached out with one hand and grabbed the god-slaying saber. He squeezed the god-slaying saber until it creaked. He laughed and said, "The broken divine weapon might be good, but it's not enough to deal with me. The Tao is strong enough. No matter how you slash it, you won't be able to break it." Fong Ping's gaze was cold. He knew that he had failed this time. Even if it was a complete divine weapon, he might still fail. Because he saw a cauldron that suppressed the origin. Li Zhu's origin world was many times stronger than he had imagined. It was like a real world. An incomparably huge cauldron suppressed the world behind him. The space was much more stable than the other people's origin worlds. Myriad Realms Cauldron. Fong Ping did not continue. The illusion dissipated and returned to his body in the next moment. At this moment, Li Zhu's figure appeared in the distance with a smile on his face. Fong Ping had slashed his Tao. Everyone knew this now. But Fong Ping could not slash him. Without this addition, Fong Ping was actually just an ordinary saint. Of course, he could last longer and had a stronger defense. However, the gap between them was still like heaven and earth. Bang! A saint's token lost its luster completely. In the next moment, the saint's token disappeared and was kept by Fong Ping into the origin world. Bang, bang, bang. A few saints' tokens lost their luster one after another. They could not withstand the pressure from the three heavenly kings and were destroyed one after another, returning to the origin world. Fong Ping looked distressed. He looked at the void in the distance and laughed in a low voice. "Want to kill me? Even if I die, don't think you'll have it easy." Heh, someone sneered. What a big tone. Both King Sun and King Jin revealed their true forms, their faces cold. With the three heavenly kings and Li Zhu, who had broken through 7 times, Fong Ping did not have the confidence to say such words. At this moment, Fong Ping's vitality erupted. Endless origin chi gushed out. King Sun said coldly, "Self-destruct? So what if you self-destruct?" Fong Ping, even those who have broken through 8 times don't dare to be so ostentatious with you. If you die, you will be seeking your own death. Ostentatious? Fong Ping sneered. If I don't kill my way out, I will be the grandson of you bunch of old dogs. If I don't kill until you are terrified, you bunch of old dogs will be like this, afraid of the human race. Fong Ping laughed loudly and said hysterically, "It's because I killed until you are terrified that I have today. Fong Ping will never regret it. The only regret is that I am not strong enough to kill you bunch of old dogs." "You are courting death." King Sun's palm landed. With a bang, another saint's token disappeared. The bones in Fong Ping's chest were all shattered. On the other side, King Jin also smiled and attacked lightly. He said indifferently, "Fong Ping, you are going to die soon. Why bother with words?" At this moment, Li Zhu grabbed Fong Ping. Fong Ping roared, and his eyes were cold. The aura in his body exploded to the extreme. "Even if I die, I will bite you." Rumble! A deafening roar resounded. At the same time, a large amount of origin energy spread out in the air. In the blink of an eye, the origin energy converged into the shape of a human. Looking at King Sun, the human laughed and disappeared. King Sun's expression changed slightly. In the next moment, his body trembled slightly, and some origin chi leaked out from his body. "Damn it," King Sun cursed in a low voice. At this moment, the heavens and earth began to tremble. Golden light erupted from everyone's eyes as they stared outside the battlefield. The heavens were falling, and the earth was cracking. A great Tao collapsed. There was no blood rain, but blood clouds gathered. King Sun snorted coldly. No matter how talented he is, he will only be an Emperor Heavenly Transformation Realm expert when he dies. Emperor's fall was happening in the outside world. At this moment, Li Zhu's palm was slightly cracked, with blood dripping down. He frowned slightly. This time, it was much easier to ambush and kill Fong Ping. The 2 heavenly kings kept their heavenly king tokens. At this moment, King Jin said, "The 9 sage tokens and the god-slaying saber are probably lost in the source universe." Before he could finish, Zhang Tao roared at the sky. The great Tao book shattered. There was a loud boom. The sea-calming heavenly mirror exploded. Sea-guarding emissary. Out of the way! Zhang Tao's eyes were bloodshot. With a roar, he charged toward Li Zhu and the others. Seeing that Zhang Tao had gone berserk, the sea-guarding emissary frowned slightly and did not attack again. Fang Ping was already dead. Since Zhang Tao did not escape, he would let Li Zhu and the others take action. Let's see if they could suppress King Wu completely. Fang Ping is dead. At this moment, Heaven's Fate was also feeling emotional. He looked at the Demon Emperor and smiled. "You really didn't do anything. I thought you would." The Demon Emperor glanced at him, his expression indifferent. Then he looked at Zhang Tao, who was charging toward Li Zhu and the others, then at Heaven Reverse and the others. He chuckled softly and said nothing. Heaven Reverse and the others were less vigilant. It seemed that the Demon Emperor would not take action. He did not even react when Fang Ping was killed. From the looks of it, the Demon Emperor had some sort of agreement with Fang Ping, but not with King Wu and the others. Since Fang Ping was dead, the Demon Emperor would naturally not take action for King Wu and the others. Not far away, Feng's avatar frowned slightly and looked over. The Great Tao had collapsed and Fang Ping was dead. This was irrefutable evidence. But why did he vaguely feel that something was not right? Unfortunately, this was only his avatar, not his real body. King Wu madly charged in that direction. In the eyes of the others, he was courting death. The human race was really going to decline this time. Of the 2 newly risen powerhouses, one was dead. Even if the other was not, the others would still suppress him. The Demon Emperor remained silent. At this time, Li Zhu and the others were also attracted by Zhang Tao. Zhang Tao had gone crazy. "Fang Ping, how dare you kill Fang Ping? Today, you will all die." Zhang Tao's voice was shrill. He broke through the void and attacked Li Zhu from a distance with a rumble. Energy exploded and vitality spread, radiating for hundreds of miles. Feng's avatar frowned again. They were about to be affected. King Wu was so angry that he lost his sense of propriety. He did not have enough control over his strength. Now it was spreading so much. At this time, in the distance, Hong Yu frowned slightly. The next moment, he quietly disappeared into the void. At this moment, the Demon Emperor suddenly raised his head. He looked at Do Tian, then at Feng, and said lightly, "You don't have to stare at me anymore. It was fine before, but now, if you dare to be presumptuous again, don't blame me." Before he finished, Feng's avatar's expression suddenly changed. He roared, "Retreat! Retreat!" Do Tian did not understand. At this moment, the Demon Emperor pulled out his sword and slashed. The Celestial Terminator and the others were stunned. He did not attack just now, but now he attacked. What was he going to do? Do Tian was also surprised. No matter how powerful the Demon Emperor was, he would not be killed so easily. He did not attack when Fang Ping died just now, but now he suddenly attacked. Was he not afraid of being surrounded and attacked? He knew that he might not be a match for the Demon Emperor. He did not want to be entangled and just retreated. It was not that easy for the Demon Emperor to kill him. At this moment, Feng's mentality fluctuated wildly again. Origin? What? In the next moment, Do Tian reacted. Right at this moment, his essence trembled. A silhouette appeared in his origin world. Fang Ping smiled, his expression cold. Holding the god-slaying saber, he slashed it down with a rumble. Not only that, 9 saints tokens appeared, forming a row and pressing down. Rumble. Half of the small world was destroyed in an instant. Do Tian's silhouette appeared, his face full of disbelief. Why was Fang Ping here? Was he not dead? Idiot. Mother asterisk her, trying to kill me. Fortunately, I have the origin soil. I condensed some imperishable substance and put an avatar inside. If you're curious about how the Great Tao collapsed, I have plenty of Great Tao. If you want to see Great Tao collapse, I can let you watch it for a month. In the origin world, Fang Ping cursed. I have plenty of Great Tao. There were many at the origin realm. This time, in order to make them believe. He had even deliberately destroyed an emperor's path. The loss was too great. His real body had indeed self-destructed, but to him, he did not lack imperishable substance. Who cared about real or fake bodies? The origin was still there. If his body was destroyed, so be it. He could just strengthen his forging in the future. The three kings were too strong. He could not defeat them. He was looking for a soft target. If not Dotian, who else would he pick? Dotian's origin body was shocked, surprised, and annoyed. However, in the next moment, a bone-piercing chill even penetrated the origin world. At this moment, a sword gleam even penetrated the origin. In the outside world, the demon emperor's sword slashed down. If Dotian was at his peak, he might have been able to avoid it. However, at this time, his origin had been ambushed by Fong Ping. More than half of it was destroyed. There was no time to avoid it. No! Dotian's terrified roar resounded everywhere. Why was he always the one getting hurt? He was not the main force this time. At the same time, on the other side, King Wu, who was attacking Li Zhu and the others, suddenly broke into the air and ran. As he ran, he shouted, "Good luck! I'm leaving first!" Rumble! Li Zhu's palm fell, but King Wu had already escaped. He no longer had the posture of fighting for his life. Earlier, the three kings were a little afraid of King Wu, who was fighting for his life. Now, however, they were all stunned. Ran away? While King Wu was running, Fong Ping's weak golden avatar walked out of the origin world. In the blink of an eye, he broke through the air. He did not even look at Dotian. He directly passed by celestial polarity and broke through the air. Celestial polarity was stunned. He waved his hand. Fong Ping's mentality fluctuated. Don't get involved. Go away. Celestial polarity continued to be stunned. He watched helplessly as Fong Ping slipped away from him. In the end, his raised hand still did not fall. It was 2F** King terrifying. We were just watching the battle. How could we be implicated? This was bullying the weak and fearing the strong. Looking for the weak to bully. Dotian was the weakest, so they only dared to trouble him? He did not have time to think. In the distance, someone roared, "Stop him!" But celestial polarity's movements were 100 times slower. Stop him? Stop him. He did not dare. These people were too crazy. At this moment, a loud explosion was heard. A side of the world collapsed. Dotian's golden avatar was shattered. He had been seriously injured when he first came in and had not fully recovered until now. At this moment, he was completely surprised. Fong Ping's sudden attack had destroyed more than half of his origin. The key was not Fong Ping, but the Demon Emperor. At this moment, the Demon Emperor slashed with his sword. It was so powerful that it was shocking. Even the surrounding heavenly kings felt the pain of their golden avatars being torn apart. The debt from 2,500 years ago. It's time to settle it, the Demon Emperor murmured. He slashed with his sword. Without turning his head, he said lightly, "Fong, killing the avatar is useless. Wait for me to kill your main body." As soon as he finished speaking, the Demon Emperor had already disappeared. Feng's avatar's face was livid. Beside him, Dotian's avatar appeared. He looked a little dazed. Then, he looked at Feng with a bitter expression. "Master," before he finished speaking, there was a loud bang. The avatar exploded. A sky-piercing sword gleam erupted. Feng did not dodge. His face was still livid and scary. Rumble. At this moment, the entire origin world was shaking. Not only this place, but at this moment, the three realms were shaking. At this moment, in the origin universe, a huge star was collapsing. Everywhere was silent. A heavenly king had fallen. Chapter 1203. The three realms were trembling. In the prime universe, an enormous star was crumbling. The sky darkened. It was pitch black. In the depths of the forbidden sea, sealed Heaven Island, Feng, who was still fishing, trembled slightly. A huge golden fish in the water instantly shattered, turning into dust. The two maidservants behind Xiao Chen burst out with powerful auras. They revealed pained expressions as they resisted with great difficulty. Phew. Feng gently sighed and shook her head. She smiled faintly and said, after living for so long, you can't even get over this. The more you live, the more you regress. Feng smiled and didn't say anything else. He continued fishing. Dead. Feng was not surprised that all 4 of his disciples had died. He just felt a little self-deprecating. Was it really like this? The 4 emperors. The 4 emperors were not to be trifled with. What about the 9 emperors? The 4 great disciples were all dead. Even Dotian, a heavenly king, was dead. In the 3 realms, who can rule over everything? Feng laughed self-mockingly in his heart. 4 disciples, 4 extreme Tao emperors had died one after another. The first to die was Earth Battle, followed by Perish, then Tyrant, and finally Heaven-defying. Feng continued fishing, but he was calculating something quickly in his mind. Of the 4 great emperors back then, the first to die was Zhang. He wasn't sure if it was annihilation or hegemony, but it seemed like Do was the last to die. Was the order of his 4 disciples' deaths related to this? You can't seize the opportunity to seize the luck. Does this mean that you're all alive? Dotian lived to become a heavenly king, and I thought you were dead. Now that I think about it, that might not be the case. Perhaps you've been alive all this time, watching the show? Feng stared at the surface of the lake motionlessly, like a stone statue. In the water, the golden hook was straight. Those willing to take the bait. Who's fishing? Who was fishing who? What did you want to catch in the end? A voice traveled into his ears. Master, there's a strange movement in heaven and earth. It's suspected that a heavenly king has perished. Someone from the St. Martial continent has come to ask which heavenly king has perished. Feng didn't even turn his head as he said indifferently, fighting heaven. Eldest senior brother. Behind him, an elder's body trembled. Eldest senior brother had fallen. The sky-sealing bloodline had many successors, but the 4 disciples were the most outstanding. Back then, Dijon's death had shaken the heaven-sealing faction. Not long ago, Yunye had left the mountain and was killed, causing a sensation on Sealed Sky Island once again. After that, a saint had fallen. It was said that the second senior brother, the tyrant, had fallen. But today, even eldest senior brother at the Heavenly King stage had perished. Behind him, the expressions of the 2 maidservants changed drastically. The 4 great disciples were all dead. Feng did not reply and looked at the lake quietly. Behind him, the disciple who had come to ask questions didn't dare to ask anymore. He was about to leave quietly when he suddenly thought of something and said in a low voice, Master, Mad Blade of the St. Martial continent has entered the Earth domain and is preparing to kill that cat. Mad Blade sent someone to report that he hopes that the Sealed Sky Island will provide some assistance. I will restrain the God Creation Envoy. They can settle the rest themselves. Feng Hui replied indifferently. Step down. Yes, sir. The disciples behind him didn't dare to say another word and carefully retreated. Mad Saber had only sent someone to test Feng Tian's intentions. As for asking for reinforcements, that was not to the extent of it. The catacombs. In the heavenly court, the 9 saints were shocked. After a long time, the governor sighed and said, There's an 80 to 90% chance that Dotian is dead. It should be him. The governor said softly, The origin stars of Nirvana are not the ones at the top. It should be the new heavenly king. If it's not Dotian, then it's Celestial Pole, Moon Spirit, and King Wu. Dotian is the most likely. Everyone's hearts trembled. Even a heavenly king was dead. Although Dotian was a new heavenly king, he was not weak. It was not difficult for the successor of the heaven-sealing bloodline to seal a saint. If the 9 saints of the catacombs fought against Dotian, even if they could win, at least half of them would die. Even so, they might not be able to kill Dotian. That guy sealed a saint. There were not 2 people present who were confident that they would not be sealed. Once they were sealed, a saint would be killed with a single blow. Everyone was silent, and they were all deeply worried. The 3 realms had reached the point where even the heavenly kings were in danger. How terrifying! At the same time, at the edge of the Forbidden Sea, a middle-aged man looked up at the sky and sneered after a while. Dotian is dead? This piece of trash lived until now, until he became a heavenly king. He even caused a big commotion. It's not easy. Behind the middle-aged man, a woman walked in the air and followed him silently. The middle-aged man looked impatient. He turned and scolded, "Old woman, if you continue to follow me, I'll hack you to death. Do you believe me?" As he said that, he scolded, "You're crazy. I finally came out to take a walk. Those idiots, Tengu, helped me block the trouble, so I took advantage of the chaos to escape. You woman are good. You even have your eyes on me." After scolding for a while, impatience appeared on the middle-aged man's rough face again. He shouted, "What are you waiting for? Do you want me to hack you to death? Where are you going?" Behind him, the woman did not look like an old woman. She looked more like a young girl. She wore purple clothes and was expressionless. At that moment, she asked, "None of your business." The middle-aged man snorted coldly and said arrogantly, "In this 3 realms, I can go wherever I want. No one can stop me." "Where are you going?" "I already said it's none of your business." The middle-aged man became a little irritated. His eyes were fierce as he turned to look at the woman. "Don't think that I won't kill you just because you're a woman." The woman looked at him and did not say anything. However, a weapon that looked like a palace appeared in her hand. The middle-aged man glanced at it and sneered, "What's so great about a divine weapon? If I tell you to scram, then scram. If you continue to follow me, don't blame me for being impolite. Where are you going?" The woman did not seem to know how to say anything else. This time, the middle-aged man became even more irritated and said angrily, "What does it matter to you? Do you want the second heavenly king to fall today?" The purple-clothed woman still looked at him. After a long time, she said coldly, "You still want to kill it? What do you mean by him?" The middle-aged man said angrily, "I can kill whoever I want. Why do you care? You failed to kill it back then, and you want to kill it again? What are you talking about? When have I ever failed to kill someone?" As he said that, the middle-aged man seemed to have thought of something. He looked at the woman suspiciously and then looked at the palace in her hand. After a long time, he said in surprise, "I almost didn't recognize it. Isn't this that stupid cat's cat palace?" The woman did not say anything. The middle-aged man suddenly laughed and said, "I say, you're in cahoots with that stupid cat. Why? You want revenge? I don't like that stupid cat. It's as fat as a pig. It eats, sleeps, and eats. It only King eats good food." The middle-aged man said angrily, "That stupid cat is extremely daring. It even ate the 9 transformations golden body fruit that I planted. It's lucky that it didn't die." The purple-clothed woman said coldly, "Did you plant it?" "Nonsense. So what if I didn't plant it? I found it first. I was going to raise it for a few more years before picking it. This stupid cat ate it without saying a word. So what if I killed it?" The middle-aged man said disapprovingly and sneered, "You're not convinced? I've already killed it. What can you do? That stupid dog wanted to kill me back then. In the end, it was so stupid that it dared to run around when the chaos arrived. If it doesn't die, who will? What can it do to me?" The purple-clothed woman did not say anything. After a while, she said, "There are no powerhouses in the 3 realms. The powerhouses are all elsewhere. Heaven Sealing Island is 1,000,000 miles away. The St. Martial continent is 3,000,000 miles away, and the Heavenly Tomb is 5,000,000 miles away." "Shut up!" The middle-aged man sneered and said, "You want me to fight these people? Do you think I'll listen to you? The more you fear me going to the human realm, the more I want to go. What do you want?" The purple-clothed woman's voice was cold. The middle-aged man said casually, "I don't want anything. Just scram. No one can threaten me, not even the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors." The woman looked at him for a while and said slowly, "The ancient sealed Chu-Wu continent has broken through the seals. There are many powerhouses there. You, the chaotic heavenly king, are said to have fought in the 3 realms. Do you not dare to fight them?" "TSK." The middle-aged man snorted disdainfully. "Don't play with these things. These are all leftovers from my time, not to mention the Chu-Wu continent. I've even fought those old antiques in the Heavenly Tomb. Are you a match for them?" The middle-aged man sneered again and ignored her. "Of course not. What's wrong with that? I'm not dead yet, right? Although I'm not a match for them, it's fine as long as I'm alive. Didn't I beat those people so badly that they didn't dare to cause trouble for me? The middle-aged man was too lazy to pay attention to this woman. Seeing that the woman followed him again, the middle-aged man exploded. Do you want to die? The woman frowned slightly and asked again, Where are you going? Go to the human world. The middle-aged man said angrily, I'm not trying to kill that stupid cat. A stupid cat can be killed at any time. I heard that the God-forging envoy is in the human world. Go find him and forge a divine artifact. If you dare to follow me, I will really get angry. Forging a god artifact? Do you have the ingredients? None of your business. The middle-aged man scolded. So, what if we don't have materials? Does that old fellow dare to not forge for me? If he doesn't want to forge it, I'll just kill him. That's great. I don't even need to forge it anymore. I'll just snatch one at a time. The woman was speechless. This was his style. Since the man said that he wasn't here to kill cats, the woman didn't say anything. She turned and left, piercing through the void and vanishing. The middle-aged man cursed for a while, feeling a little unhappy. If it wasn't because he felt that it was a little troublesome, he would have killed her long ago. The next moment, the man took a step forward and instantly entered a passageway. No one noticed him. At that moment, the passageway trembled slightly. The middle-aged man stomped his foot, and the passageway stopped trembling. But at this moment, an incomparably strong mental strength spread out. The man didn't care and wantonly said, You are the God-forging envoy? No one was there, but his spiritual force had arrived. Chaos? Yo, you even know me. Not bad, not bad. The middle-aged man laughed out loud. It just so happens that I don't need to look for you anymore. Go, forge me a set of divine artifact armor, a divine artifact long blade. That's right, the armor must not be inferior to Sky Emperor Bashan's, and the long blade must also be sharper than the Western Emperor blade. Silence. The God-forging envoy was stunned for a long time, then thought for a while and said, This old man lacks materials. I have exhausted them all these years. How about this? Go to the Spirit Emperor's dojo and see a somewhat wretched old man. Beat him to death, remove his bones, and I will forge a divine artifact for you. A wretched old man? Who? Heavenly King subduing a very arrogant fellow. Other than him, you can beat anyone you want to the death of the other heavenly kings. You can even break their bones and bring them here. Of course, breaking 7 is the best. Are you trying to scare me? That's wrong. The God Creation Envoy condensed his body and laughed. I really lack materials. Otherwise, I would have created it a long time ago. I'm trapped right now, and I can't get out. I can't collect the materials myself. If you go, the more you kill, the more materials you collect, and the stronger the divine artifact you forge will be. The middle-aged man frowned. After a while, he glared at him and said, You old thing, you are up to no good. If you want to forge a god weapon, I don't have the materials, so I won't charge you a forging fee. If you have the ability, bring it to me, and I'll forge it for you. If you don't have the ability, then there's nothing I can do. I can't forge a god weapon out of thin air. The middle-aged man stared at him for a while, rubbed his chin, and said hesitantly, If I dismantle your bones, will you still be able to forge a divine weapon? The God Creation Envoy was still smiling. Although he really wanted to beat this little bastard to death, this little bastard was not weak, and there was something wrong with his head. He dared to fight anyone he met, so there was no point in fighting with him. This old man isn't strong enough. Even if I dismantle the bones, I won't be able to forge a god weapon. Why don't you dismantle a few bones yourself? Am I sick? The middle-aged man sneered. Crazy. Why would I tear apart my own bones to make it? Was there something wrong with him? The God Creation Envoy had a headache. Why did this madman come out? Didn't he disappear when the Earth Emperor Divine Dynasty was established? He had thought that he was trapped somewhere, but who knew that he would come out so soon? Up to you. Go find the location of the fake sky tomb yourself. If you can't enter, then lie in ambush at the entrance. If there's anything else, then kill one. I guarantee that you can forge a few god weapons. If there's nothing else, Then this old man will take his leave." After saying this, the god creation envoy instantly disappeared. Before the middle-aged man could finish his question, he grabbed towards the void, and in the next moment, the god creation envoy was caught. The middle-aged man didn't care about all this, and asked, "Do you think it's better to forge a god weapon with jade bones?" "Of course." "Is that so?" The middle-aged man seemed to be deep in thought, and then said, "Is that person from the St. Martial continent a jade bone?" "St. Martial continent," the god creation envoy said calmly. "It should be." Back then, the fire god was beaten to death by the cat. That guy inherited his master's orthodoxy. And in the midst of the competition between his senior and junior brothers, he seemed to have forged a jade bone to win the final victory and established his own St. Martial lineage. What's his approximate strength? I'm afraid there's... Break 7. The middle-aged man rubbed his chin and began to think. If he broke through to the 7th level, he would definitely have jade bones. Without jade bones, he wouldn't be able to break through to the 7th level. Of course, each bloodline was different, and some didn't walk the path of the physical body, so it was hard to say. However, it wasn't like he didn't know anything about the St. Martial continent. It seemed that he walked the path of the physical body. Thinking of this, the middle-aged man said again, "Did any of the old fellows of the Origin Tao forge jade bones? Will the quality of the jade bones forged by the Origin Tao be better than that of the beginner martial arts?" "That's for sure. The difficulty of the jade bones of the beginner martial arts is slightly lower. The jade bones of the Origin Tao are usually only found after breaking through to the 8th level. Hong Kuan might have succeeded in forging them. Of course, it seems that the Sea Guardian also has this possibility. A little powerful, the middle-aged man fell into deep thought. He grabbed the god creation envoy's clone, rubbed it for a while, then casually threw it away, turned around and walked out of the passage, saying as he walked, "Then I'll go take a look first. I'm warning you, don't think that I don't know what you're thinking. In short, bring back the bone, hurry up and forge it for me, and prepare to fight for hegemony in the 3 realms. I become the emperor, and I'll let you forge iron in the future. Isn't it an honor?" "It's an honor." The god creation envoy smiled and watched him leave. After he left, he suddenly cursed. Crazy. If it wasn't for the fact that he didn't want to compete with this madman, he wouldn't have been able to kill him. Why did this madman come out? The god creation envoy shook his head slightly, looked at Jiang Hao who had rushed over, and said casually, "Chaos. This fellow has also come out of the mountain. The 3 realms is really going to be lively now. A heavenly king died today, and a few more might die tomorrow. Your reincarnation is still at the true God realm. I think it's going to be dangerous." Jiang Hao was silent. After a while, he said softly, "It doesn't matter much on his side. This fellow is involved in chaos, and he doesn't care about small matters. The 3 realms shouldn't be too affected." The problem was that on the human side, there were leaks everywhere. Fong Ping and the others were already under great pressure inside. On the outside world, you might not be able to fool them into going to the St. Martial continent to cause trouble. Fong was also eyeing them covetously. If this continued, I'm afraid it would be very troublesome. In the past, the Chuwu continent was divided into more than 70 lineages. In the past, dozens of lineages had disappeared, but there were still many martial orthodoxies that existed. Once they all return, the god creation envoy laughed. Worried about the humans? Jiang Hao was silent for a moment and said slowly, "I'm a human. Unquestionable sword is not." "Unquestionable sword is unquestionable sword," Jiang Hao said calmly. "Perhaps unquestionable sword will disappear completely very soon. This world no longer has unquestionable sword." "That's a pity." Although the god creation envoy said that he looked down on unquestionable sword, he still sighed when he heard this. He's also a hero of his generation. What a pity. I wonder what you can do after unquestionable sword dies. Jiang Hao did not reply, turned around and left. The god creation envoy asked, "How are Fong Ping and the others?" "Being chased. The one who died was Do Tian, right? This old man saw the Origin Star sword chi explode. Did you kill it?" "Unquestionable sword killed it. Fong won't let you go. You killed Dijon and Do Tian. He won't let this go. About unquestionable sword. The two of them quickly disappeared in the passageway, and there was no more sound. Until the two of them left, the energy in the passageway let out an explosive sound, and the passageway trembled slightly. The two people who left did not care. The boundary wall had already begun to loosen. Only the last passageway was left. When that passageway opened, it was no longer a passageway, but a complete opening of the celestial and human boundary wall. The boundary wall shattered, and the three realms became one. On the eve of the three realms becoming one, those who should come out would all come out. No one knew how many people would perish on that day. In the fake sky grave, Fong Ping's golden body was dim. The strength of the golden body that was cast later was obviously not as strong as before. The difference was huge. As powerful as he was, his golden body's vitality exceeded 7 million calories. But he was still beaten by those people until he had no choice but to self-destruct. If it were others, it would be difficult to recover without decades. Maybe it would take thousands of years. Fong Ping did not lack imperishable substances, so he could speed up the honing, but it still did not feel good. At this moment, Fong Ping found a place again, made a hole, curled up, burrowed in, and restrained all his aura. At this moment, he did not dare to move, did not dare to tear space. The powerhouses he encountered now were no longer the weaklings he encountered in the past. Tearing space, even a slight fluctuation would attract these people's attention. Fong Ping curled up on the ground, his expression ugly. Killing Do Tian had something to do with him, but the main contributor was the unquestionable sword. He was not interested in thinking about that. At this moment, he was a little annoyed and a little worried. In the outside world, the powerhouses' auras were exploding. Someone was sending voice transmissions everywhere, forcing them to come out. Third Guardian, Sky Plant, Destiny, 5 Saints, go capture the human powerhouses, capture them alive. If they don't obey, kill them. King Qian, Celestial Polarity, seal the space battlefield. Don't let Fong Ping and the others leave this place. Heavenly King's seal suppresses the 4 directions. Li Zhu, you and the rest of us, search with all our might. Find Fong Ping and the others. Fong Ping, Zhang Tao, you can't escape. At this moment, the voices of King Kun and the rest echoed in all directions. Li Zhu's laughter spread across the sky and earth. Fong Ping, Zhang Tao, you say that you don't care about the human powerhouses' lives. But if you capture Netherworld King, War King, and the others and kill them in front of your eyes, can you still hold it in? No one answered. Zhang Tao had also escaped. At this moment, he had concealed all his aura. No one knew where he was hiding, but he did not move at all. On the other side, the Sea Envoy and King Kun were facing the subduing king. The three of them did not fight. Other than King Kun giving orders, the Sea Envoy and the subduing king did not say a word. Fong Ping, who was hiding underground, was motionless, like a dead man. Voices, however, kept coming. Why don't we break the void, break this world, return to the 3 realms, and capture people related to Fong Ping and Zhang Tao? If we don't show up for a day, we'll kill millions of people. What do you think? King Sun, Fong Ping muttered in his heart. On the other side, the subduing king seemed a little dejected. A soft sigh echoed in all directions. He said softly, Fong Ping, Zhang Tao, and the other martial artists above the desperate realm, I don't care if they live or die. Good luck. In this world of great competition, everyone is fighting. Life and death are determined by fate. If you dare to slaughter the human race, this old man will fight with all of you to the death. At this moment, the subduing king's gaze pierced through the void and fell on each of the heavenly kings. King Kun and the Sea Envoy did not say a word. The other heavenly kings also fell silent. The subduing king retracted his gaze and did not speak anymore. He sat cross-legged on a mountain peak, completely lifeless. King Kun and the Sea Envoy also sat cross-legged in the void, no longer speaking. At this moment, a gust of mentality swept in all directions. Not only mentality, but also origin qi. At this moment, Feng's voice spread in all directions. Fang Ping can restrain his aura, but he can't hide his origin. If you use origin qi to explore the source world, you will definitely sense it. Fang Ping has the source earth. His physical body is destroyed, but the origin is not. If you meet him again, destroy the origin, break the world, cut off the Tao, and completely destroy him. At this moment, origin qi seeped in from all directions. Fang Ping's expression changed. This group of old antiques had more tricks than the catacombs powerhouses. Source world. Yes, if these people's origin qi penetrated the source world, Fang Ping would be easily exposed. Not only that, even if it could not penetrate, it would still be a big problem. If it could not penetrate, it meant that there was resistance. Where did the resistance come from? It must be martial artists. Fang Ping felt depressed. The concealment method and breath concealment method that he had been using were now facing more and more restrictions. I'm fine. Old Zhang. Fang Ping was deeply worried. These people were searching aimlessly. The space battlefield was huge. They might not find him soon. However, old Zhang restrained his aura. His aura was weak, but it did not mean that it did not exist. Once it swept past, he would be exposed instantly. All the heavenly kings had reached a consensus. They had to be dealt with first. As for unquestionable Jian, no one knew where he was hiding now. He, who had killed a heavenly king, was in a lot of trouble now. However, most heavenly kings might not dare to provoke him. Fang Ping and Zhang Tao would definitely be everyone's first target. Even if they were not found immediately, what about the outside world? Fang Ping's expression kept changing. This time, because of his entry, the human race had made all parties completely vigilant and united. These people could unite because of him. Right now, War King and the others outside were in great danger. Even if my strength reaches Heavenly King, I still can't solve the crisis in front of me. Fang Ping gritted his teeth. The only way was to rope in some Heavenly Kings. But now, he did not even dare to show himself. How could he rope them in? Who could he rope in? Do I still have bargaining chips? Fang Ping asked himself. Do I still have bargaining chips that can move people? Move Heavenly Kings? Maybe I still have some. Fang Ping replied to himself. The next moment his body moved slightly. I can't sit and wait for death. If this goes on, I will be discovered sooner or later. I must save myself. Not only do I have to save myself, but I also have to save the human powerhouses. I can't let the human powerhouses die here. P.S. There are still 2 updates today. I'm going to be thick-skinned and promote a new book by a hidden big shot, Old Alley. It's the history of the rise of the minor characters in the Republic of China. Those who are interested can go read it. Chapter 1204. In the space battlefield, Fang Ping and Zhang Tao were facing attacks from all directions. Fang Ping was no longer a sitting duck. He walked out of his hiding place. The other side, Zhang Tao restrained his aura and controlled it to not overflow, but his face was slightly pale. He had been seriously injured when he broke the suppressing messenger's seal. Kid, hide yourself well, Zhang Tao murmured in his heart as he scanned the surroundings vigilantly. Being surrounded and killed was actually within his expectations. This fake sky grave was a trap set up by the human race. On the first day he entered, Zhang Tao had thought that one day he would be surrounded and killed by everyone. This day did not come early. Fang Ping was only the catalyst. Like Fang Ping, Zhang Tao had never thought of sitting still and waiting for death. At that time, he did not even have the combat strength of a heavenly king, so he had never thought of waiting for death. Right now, he was a heavenly king stage powerhouse after all, so he wouldn't just wait for death. Old Li was trapped, but they also trapped the most powerful King Kun and the Guardian CC. Zhang Tao calculated in his mind. Qian, Sun, Jin, Heaven Pole, Moon Spirit, Sky Chief, and Hong Yu. For out of the 7, their attitudes are unclear. Celestial, Moon Spirit, Zhang Tao muttered in his heart again. King Qian was here for the 9 Emperor Seals, King Sun and the others were here to kill their enemies, and Moon Spirit and the others didn't seem to be here for the 9 Emperor Seals, but they still wanted to get involved. And Hong Yu? This fellow is the most complicated. I don't know why he's here. King Qian. I wonder if King Qian can be handed over to Unquestionable. If Heaven's Fate and the others don't make a move, Fong Ping and I might be able to deal with King Sun and King Jin. There's also Feng's clone. Where did that old fellow, the God Creation Envoy, go? Zhang Tao felt a headache coming on and became even more cautious. The current situation was not the worst, but it was not good either. Soon, Zhang Tao made his decision. In the next moment, he tore through the sky and left. The moment he left, King Qian's speed was extremely fast. In just a blink of an eye, he arrived at this place. Zhang Tao had already disappeared, but he had left some traces behind. You can't run. King Wu, hand over the 9 Emperor Seals, and this king will no longer meddle in your affairs. Zhang Tao, who had already escaped, ignored him. The 9 Emperor Seals were destined to be lost this time. They had to be given away. It was definitely not for King Qian. Zhang Tao had already made up his mind. With the current state of the human race, they would be courting death if they still wanted to obtain the 9 Emperor Seals. The 9 Emperor Seals could be given, but not to those who were too strong. Once the 9 Emperor Seals were given to the powerhouse, Fong Ping would be in big trouble. Fong Ping, who had 9 Saint tokens in his hands, would soon become the hunting target of the powerhouse who had the 9 Emperor Seals. Zhang Tao was very clear about this point. King Kun, the Sea Guardian, King Qian Li Zhu, these experts who had broken through to the 7th level could forget about obtaining the 9 Emperor Seals. Celestial Pole is the most suitable candidate. I'm just afraid that he won't dare to accept it. Moon Spirit. Moon Spirit is hard to say. I don't know what that woman is planning. Could it be that Tian Chief? As Zhang Tao fled, he thought about other matters. Perhaps giving Tian Kuei, the leader of the 36 sages, was the most suitable choice. Tian Kuei might not have broken past 7. Even if he did, Tian Kuei was so low-key that it made people's hair stand on end. He might not continue to attack, but it was more likely that he would leave immediately. Moreover, Tian Kuei doesn't have the Heavenly King seal. Now that he has the 9 Emperor seal, if we let him go, he might go to the catacombs to deal with the 9 saints and seize the Heavenly King seal and saint's token. Zhang Tao thought to himself. His speed was extremely fast, and he continued to break through the air. Behind him, King Qian had already caught up quickly. At this moment, there were powerhouses, chi dynamics, rising in all directions. On the other side, Zhang Tao's chi dynamics had also attracted everyone's attention. The powerhouses rushed over there one after another. As for Fong Ping, he also began to move at this moment. Without tearing the space apart, Fong Ping lightly tapped the void, moving tens of li with one step. His speed was also extremely fast. He did not go to Zhang Tao, nor did he go to those Heavenly King powerhouses. The current him still did not have the capital to negotiate with them. He wanted to go out and save people. While saving people, he would kill strong enemies. The 2 catacombs kings and the 3 sages of the divine sect had all gone out. He wanted to go out too. Kill them and seize the saint tokens. There were also Heavenly Emperor Wuya and the others. Previously, Fong Ping did not want to offend them, but now he had to hand over the saint tokens. He had to choose the lesser of 2 evils. Fong Ping must obtain enough saint tokens to once again increase his foundation, truly completing the 6th level and possessing the combat strength of a Heavenly King. When that time came, he would have a greater right to speak. Old Zhang can hold on by himself. Fong Ping glanced at the light pillar that streaked across the void from the corner of his eyes. He could not provide support, so old Zhang could only rely on himself. Fong Ping also did not know how long he could hold on. At the border between the space battlefield and Spirit Emperor Dojo. At this moment, 2 Heavenly King seals were guarding the void. Li Zhu and King Jin were guarding this place and did not leave. Li Zhu stood in the void and said indifferently, Fong Ping must want to leave the space battlefield to support the human powerhouses. Guard here, and do not give him a chance to leave. King Jin frowned slightly. Where is unquestionable Jin? He is still in the space battlefield. He encountered unquestionable Jin. I will stop him, Li Zhu said in a low voice. Don't be too afraid of unquestionable Jin. What's left of him is actually just a shell. Previously, he was able to kill Heaven Dotian because of the timing and location. Unquestionable Jin cannot fight for long. You are all ancient heavenly kings. If you encounter him, you only need to delay him for a while, and unquestionable Jin will not be able to fight anymore. As he spoke, the space in the distance fluctuated, and unquestionable Jin walked in the void. Li Zhu looked at him and chuckled. He is already a dead man. Why must he get involved? Unquestionable Jin remained silent. You came here to restrain us and give Fong Ping a chance to leave? Li Zhu smiled. Are you sure you want to do this? Unquestionable Jin looked at him and said coldly, You have no right to interfere with what I want to do. You killed Heaven Dotian. Fong will not let this matter rest. At this moment, a figure appeared with a person in his hand. Fong appeared. The moment he appeared, Fong did not say anything. The person in his hand raised his head slowly and looked at Unquestionable Jin with a complicated gaze. Unquestionable Jin was unmoved. Unquestionable Jin, the person that Fong brought here, broke free from Fong. With a complicated gaze, he said softly, Leave. You should not interfere with the human race's affairs. They are involved in too many things. Master. Unquestionable Jin looked at Gong Yuzi and said slowly, I will never forget the kindness of raising and teaching you. However, I must avenge my wife's death. Unquestionable Jin. Gong Yuzi's gaze became even more complicated. What happened back then was an accident. You are also a member of the Fengtian bloodline. I am the successor of the Fengtian bloodline. What happened back then was really an accident. No one wanted it to happen. Celestial Emperor Feng is my master and also your grandmaster. Hong Yu, who taught you sword techniques back then, was also entrusted by your grandmaster to teach you sword techniques. Heaven Dotian is your grandmaster. You have already killed Heaven Dotian. Unquestionable Jin, don't repeat your mistakes. Mistakes? Unquestionable Jin's gaze was cold. What mistakes did I make? Master, I know a thing or two about what happened back then. Replacing Gong Yuzi as the only person in the era of sex, Unquestionable Jin is a martial artist. Since he is a martial artist, he should fight. That's right. As for deceiving the cat, it is not impossible for martial artists to use some tricks to become stronger. However, why at the cost of Wan Er's death? That day, Wan Er died in my arms, her origin extinguished. Do you know what Unquestionable Jin was thinking? Before Gong Yuzi could speak, Feng said indifferently, You killed your Taoist companion with your own hands. Unquestionable Jin, you don't have to blame others for everything when you have cultivated to this level. That day, you went crazy and killed your Taoist companion. This matter was not orchestrated by others. Unquestionable Jin's eyes dimmed. He said self-deprecatingly, That's right, I killed Wan Er with my own hands. Then he said sternly, But it was really not you who schemed against me. That day, a strong enemy attacked. I wanted to kill the enemy, but Wan Er stood in front of me. Why? Do you really think I don't know? Wan Er was also your chess piece. From the beginning to the end, it was all fake. My master is fake. He is the successor that you appointed. My lover is fake. She is also a member of the Fengtian bloodline. Do you dare to say that Wan Er's death was not orchestrated by you? I saw through it a long time ago, but I thought that Wan Er was innocent. How could a weak woman control her own fate when the world was in chaos? Your mistake is that you shouldn't have sent Wan Er to her death by my sword. You think that's the only way to force me to look for the Ash Cat, so that I can obtain even greater benefits and seize even more opportunities. You didn't know that from that day onwards, your scheme had already gone wrong. I will never be with you. Unquestionable Jin, Gong Yuzi persuaded. Wan Er's death was really an accident. Now that Master has come out, if you return to the Fengtian bloodline, Master might have a way to reunite your spiritual consciousness and let you live again. Now, You are neither human nor ghost. Unquestionable Jin. Are you really going to give up on thousands of years of hard work? Unquestionable Jin looked at him for a long time. After a long time, he smiled. Master, this is the last time I call you Master. When I betrayed Purple Cap Mountain, I was actually no longer a disciple of Purple Cap Mountain, much less a disciple of the Fengtian bloodline. Feng's voice was indifferent. Do you know that your strength comes from the Fengtian bloodline? Back then, if it weren't for the Fengtian bloodline, could you have really risen to power? Could you have defeated North Sea and become the peerless genius of that generation? Hong Yu taught you the heaven-punishing sword art. Do you know how much I've paid for it? And now, you've killed Dotian. You've used everything you've learned in the heaven-sealing faction to kill your elder uncle, Unquestionable Jian. Is this what you mean by all your troubles end? Feng laughed and shook his head. I've been spurned by the experts of the three realms, but even when I left my sect during the early years of the martial era, I never attacked my fellow disciples. You, Unquestionable Jian, are truly worthy of being the Demon Emperor. There are many experts who have betrayed their sects, but you're the first to betray and attack a fellow disciple. Li Zhu smiled. Demon Emperor, Heavenly King Feng has already said so. Are you still going to act willfully? Before you are your master and grandmaster. Isn't it enough that you've killed your uncle master? Are you going to kill them too? Unquestionable Jin looked at the two of them, speechless for a long time. Finally, he closed his eyes and said slowly, Gong Yuzi, move aside. He didn't acknowledge Grandmaster. However, Gong Yuzi had taught him for 200 years. For those 200 years, Gong Yuzi had treated him like his own son. Even if there were schemes or other factors, this debt could not be forgotten. Unquestionable Jian, Gong Yuzi said mournfully, do you really want to do this? Now that you're strong and you've joined forces with your grandmaster, the Fengtian bloodline will fear no one in the three realms. Is this what you want to see? Unquestionable Jian stopped. Feng's clone did not speak. He looked at Unquestionable Jian without saying a word. Unquestionable Jian chuckled. Gong Yuzi, I owe you, but I don't owe him. I'll say it one last time. Move aside. Unquestionable Jian, move aside. Unquestionable Jian's sword chi surged, the void trembled. At this moment, Unquestionable Jian's eyes were ice cold as he looked at Feng and said coldly, I know how to play with people's hearts too. You made Gong Yuzi block the way. Do you think that this seat doesn't dare to kill people? Trash. You have strength for nothing. Why don't you dare to come here personally? Since you insist that I'm a traitor, then you might as well come and kill me personally. Feng looked at him. After a while, he smiled and said, You've also schemed for many years. Why must you oppose me at this moment? The current you, your physical body is starting to decay. Your spiritual consciousness is all but gone. After some time, you might completely dissipate from this world. If you're willing to return, this seat will help you gather spiritual consciousness and solidify your foundation. At that time, you'll still be the powerful, unquestionable Jian, and not someone who's about to die, who's nothing. The fruits of your hard work for thousands of years, scheming your entire life. Are you really willing to let a so-called reincarnation benefit? What a joke! Reaching our realm, the living is ourselves. The dead, no matter how they reincarnate, they're no longer themselves. There's only one in heaven and earth. This is the Tao. This is the true self. At Feng's realm, he had already seen through some things. In this world, what reincarnation, what clone, those were all external things. Only me. Only one. Experts only lived as themselves. If they lived as someone else, they would be someone else. Both sides were at daggers drawn. King Jin and King Sun looked at each other and didn't interfere. Unquestionable Jian wasn't easy to deal with. It would be better if the Fengtian lineage could solve this problem internally. Moreover, there was actually no benefit in killing Unquestionable Jian. Unquestionable Jian's physical body had already started to decay. If he didn't return, he would completely disappear from this world. Unquestionable Jian would no longer exist in the three realms. Since that was the case, there was no need to fight to the death with him. Even Li Zhu wasn't willing to fight to the death with unquestionable Jian in his current state. It was truly meaningless. If he lost, he might lose his life. If he won, there was no benefit at all. Wang! A sword ray exploded. In the next moment, Gong Yuzi's sword into the sky. Below his cheek, a bloody mark appeared. A shocking sword chi streaked across his face, but it stopped in the end. Gong Yuzi's face was filled with sorrow. Unquestionable Jian, master can't stop you. But the one you want to make an enemy out of is your master's sect. Your master's master. If that's the case, if you want to make a move, you'll have to kill master. Unquestionable Jian's expression was cold. Gong Yuzi didn't make him his enemy, but he blocked him with all his might. If he wanted to kill someone, he had to kill him first. Gong Yuzi. Unquestionable Jian's expression was as cold as snow. You want to stop me? If you kill master, you could do whatever you want from now on. In the dark, Fong Ping was helpless. What a bitter drama. It would be difficult for anyone to handle this matter. On one side was his master who had raised him for hundreds of years. On the other side was his enemy who had schemed against him all his life, manipulated his life, and killed his wife. Yet, in the end, they were still a family. Fong Ping wasn't surprised that Gong Yuzi was from the Fengtian lineage. When the Fengtian lineage appeared, Fong Ping had already guessed it. But now it was indeed difficult. Unquestionable Jian couldn't make a move now. Fong Ping couldn't make a move either. Gong Yuzi had fought for humans before. Not only that, he had even invested in old Zhang back then. Although it might not have been out of good intentions, until now, Gong Yuzi had never said he was an enemy of humans. He was blocking his own disciple. What could outsiders say? His junior, Warlord, was one of the pillars of humanity. He was also inextricably linked to humans. As for whether Warlord was from the Fengtian lineage, Fong Ping couldn't be bothered. Warlord and Gong Yuzi didn't seem to have the same master. Fong Ping wasn't sure about the specific situation. Gong Yuzi was probably the only one who knew about Purple Cap Mountain's situation. Fong Ping didn't dare to stare at them. The border between the space battlefield and Spirit Emperor Dojo was only so big. With so many heavenly kings sealing off the area, it would be difficult for him to escape. Initially, when unquestionable Jian appeared, Fong Ping thought that his chance had arrived. But now, unquestionable Jian himself was in trouble. Fong, what a scheme! Fong Ping was helpless. Just Gong Yuzi alone was enough to hold unquestionable Jian back. The humans had lost a great help in an instant. I'm lacking something to break the stalemate. 9 Emperor Seals. I still have to make 9 Emperor Seals appear. Maybe I can lure some people away. Fong Ping had no idea where 9 Emperor Seals were. That thing seemed to be able to move on its own. However, Fong Ping could vaguely sense that 9 Emperor Seals should be nearby. His origin seemed to have some connection with 9 Emperor Seals. It might be related to the path he took. Unquestionable Jian. Unquestionable Jian shouldn't be entangled with the Fengtian lineage anymore. Go deal with someone else. Fong Ping also did not want unquestionable Jian to be entangled now. Maybe it would be better to deal with someone else. However, Fong Ping had somewhat underestimated unquestionable Jian. Just as he was calculating, unquestionable Jian pointed its sword at Gong Yuzi and suddenly laughed. Gong Yuzi, you stopped me because you raised me and taught me martial arts. I owe you, but I owe others too. I owe honor, I owe many people. Since you said that my martial arts, my strength, came from the Fengtian lineage, then I'll return it to you. But today I'm going to make a move. After saying that, unquestionable Jian looked up and laughed. Fong Ping, I owe many people, but not you. I'm not helping you because of you, but because of the cat. I owe it to it. Since you're its chosen one, then I'll return it to you. From today onwards, I don't owe anyone. In this world, there shouldn't be unquestionable Jian. As soon as he finished speaking, Gong Yuzi's expression changed the next moment. At this moment, heaven and earth roared. A passageway appeared and collapsed in an instant. On the other side of the passageway, there seemed to be a person appearing and disappearing in the blink of an eye. Unquestionable Jian burst into laughter. He cut off his connection with Jiang Hao. At this moment, On Earth, Jiang Hao's body trembled slightly. In the next moment, the chi of a saint that he maintained earlier dissipated completely. In the blink of an eye, he regained his impasse strength. In the House of Guardians, Jiang Hao's gaze was blank for a moment. Very quickly, he laughed at himself and shook his head. He closed his eyes and stabilized his chi, no longer thinking about these things. Unquestionable Jian. Jiang Hao was no longer alone today. At the entrance of the space battlefield, unquestionable Jian laughed loudly. Jiang Hao was Jiang Hao. Unquestionable Jian was unquestionable Jian. From today onwards, they had nothing to do with each other anymore. At this moment, unquestionable Jian's chi flourished. A powerful vitality force pierced through the space battlefield. Heaven and earth roared. Unquestionable Jian grabbed Gong Yuzi with one hand. At this moment, he laughed loudly and said, "I shouldn't have come to this world in the first place. Fong Ping, remember, open the passageway in 30 seconds. I'm leaving. What I owe the cat? I might not be able to return, but I'll return some. Let's end it here." As soon as he finished speaking, unquestionable Jian slashed. On the other side, Feng's avatar's expression was ugly. He teleported instantly, wanting to leave this place. But how could he avoid it? At this moment, unquestionable Jian's vitality was burning. His origin was burning. His Tao was burning. He was leaving. Kill. Kill. Breaking 7, and it was peak breaking 7. This was unquestionable Jian. With this slash, unquestionable Jian's strength was fully displayed. It was so powerful that no one could match it. Not far away, Li Zhu and the other two were horrified. A top-notch powerhouse attacked at all costs. How could Feng's avatar withstand it? Even his real body had to avoid it. Crack! The sound of glass shattering was heard. Feng's avatar seemed to have no ability to resist at this moment and was slashed into pieces directly. In the next moment, unquestionable Jian's sword aura surged into the sky. With a rumble, the two heavenly king seals in the sealed passageway of the space battlefield were slashed away. Unquestionable Jian swung his sword and attacked the three kings, the three heavenly king powerhouses. When Li Zhu saw this, his expression changed slightly. He sighed softly and stepped into the void, leaving instantly. There was no need to continue fighting with a madman who was about to die. King Sun and King Jin also wanted to leave, but they were a little slower. This slash cut through the air and landed directly. When they saw this, they roared, and the heavenly king seals that were slashed away instantly appeared in front of them. They joined forces to block this slash. A loud bang was heard. The heavenly king seals were slashed away again. Unquestionable Jian's sword aura landed, and with a puff, the two of them were cut in half at the waist. When the two of them saw this, their angry roars spread in all directions. On the other side, King Qian stopped chasing Zhang Tao and rushed over rapidly. Unquestionable Jian laughed. "It can't be helped. There are too many dogs. They can still bite me if they join forces. In the future, you guys can kill them yourselves." After saying that, he swung his sword again, turning the broken golden bodies of the two heavenly kings into minced meat. However, how powerful was a heavenly king powerhouse? Their source worlds rumbled. In the next moment, their golden bodies recovered. Although their faces were pale, their auras were still strong. Unquestionable Jian slashed again. This time, it did not slash their physical bodies. Instead, it swept across and sent the two of them flying thousands of miles away. It's time for me to leave." Unquestionable Jian laughed loudly. He broke out of the space battlefield instantly and disappeared in the blink of an eye. At this moment, Fong Ping also broke out of the space battlefield instantly and disappeared from the space battlefield. In the outside world, unquestionable Jian carried Gong Yuzi, and his speed was extremely fast. Along the way, his aura pierced through heaven and earth and reached the passageway in the blink of an eye. Fast, too fast. Even Fong Ping could not sense his existence. He could only sense that incomparably powerful aura. Sensing that he had reached the passageway, Fong Ping hurriedly controlled the heaven-confining bell and opened up an opening. Unquestionable Jian's aura disappeared on the spot instantly. At the same time, in the three realms, Luan Gang walked near the fake sky grave and had a strange expression. So strange. A passageway was open? Didn't they say that he could not enter? Just as he thought about it, Luan Gang was on guard. A powerhouse? At this moment, a shocking sword aura exploded in the three realms. Unquestionable Jian dashed out instantly. He did not even look at Luan, who was not far away. He laughed loudly and tore the void apart, disappearing on the spot in the blink of an eye. Luan Gang was stunned for a moment. Sensing that the passageway was not completely closed, he scratched his head. Should he go in? What a coincidence. Should I go in and take a look? Luan Gang's figure moved and entered the passageway instantly. At this moment, he could not help but turn back to take a look. This look made Luan's emotions fluctuate uncontrollably. In the distance, a sword aura pierced through the sky and earth. Unquestionable Jian's laughter echoed throughout the three realms. Feng, since I can't kill you today, I'll return a sword to you. My sword slays the heavens. I've been someone else's chess piece my entire life. Today I've broken through. At this moment between heaven and earth, there was only this sword. A sword that gave everything he had. The entire forbidden sea calmed down at this moment. There were no waves, no sound. You're courting death. A clear bellow reverberated in all directions. The calm Feng was flustered and exasperated at this moment. Between heaven and earth, a sword materialized. In the blink of an eye, the two swords collided. Sealed Sky Island. At this moment, the island was still there. However, at this moment, the flowers and trees on the entire island withered instantly. The maidservant behind Feng still had a look of surprise on her face, but her aura was extinguished. In the distance, huge demonic beasts were motionless. It was as though time had stopped, but their aura had already been extinguished. On the entire island, the buildings were still there. However, on the island, be it young or old, they were all motionless at this moment. Feng stood in the pavilion, motionless as well. In the next moment, he spat out a mouthful of blood. His golden body exploded and recovered in an instant. Soon it exploded again and again. Feng's face turned paler and paler. Opposite him, unquestionable Jian carried Gong Yuzi. There was no longer a sword in his hand. He laughed. In the next moment, he said with a smile, "Master, your disciple will return an opportunity to you." As soon as he finished speaking, his body was instantly extinguished. A powerful source of qi surged into Gong Yuzi's body. Before Gong Yuzi could speak, he felt that his source world was about to explode. Unquestionable Jian did not expand his source world for him. At this moment, the source of qi surged into Gong Yuzi's great Tao. The source of qi condensed into a long sword that instantly slashed forward. Master, the great Tao is difficult. Whether you can go further depends on your fate. Rumble, the great Tao, which was originally over 50,000 meters long, instantly opened up. In the blink of an eye, it was 60,000 meters, 70,000 meters, 80,000 meters. As for the longsword, it gradually dissipated. In the end, only a loud laugh was left that spread throughout the source universe. Big cat, little sword, I'll make a move first. Everything of the past will vanish today. The three realms no longer has unquestionable Jian. Rumble! A loud sound rang out. In the source universe, a huge star instantly exploded. The source world was in turmoil. In the three realms, blood rain poured down. Demonic city. Tears suddenly rolled down the corners of the sleeping gray cat's eyes. When it opened its eyes, they were filled with tears. Drip, drip, drip. The tears could not help but fall, drop after drop. In the sky, the blood-colored rain washed the ground, dyeing the entire world red. Meow, the soft meow of a cat could be heard again and again. Its fat body shook continuously as it cried sorrowfully. Little Sword was dead. At this moment, the entire world was grieving. The number one person in the era of sex, the strongest genius, had left many legends and mysteries in the three realms. In the end, He took everything with him and perished in the three realms. On this day, the demon emperor had completely fallen. On this day, the era of sex, the 100 schools of thought contending, had come to an end. On this day, the sky-sealing lineage had become a land of death. Only a supreme expert who had schemed his entire life was constantly vomiting blood. Chapter 12:05. Between heaven and earth, a rain of blood poured down. At this moment, someone lamented, and his voice spread throughout the three realms. Send off the demon emperor. The curtain has fallen on the blessed heavenly abode, a sigh that was filled with indescribable desolation. Perhaps it was the death of the rabbit and the sorrow of the fox. God Creation Envoy. This expert who looked down on the demon emperor spoke up today to send the demon emperor off, to bid farewell to that era. In the past 3,000 years, the demon emperor was the most powerful. However, in the past 3,000 years, the demon emperor had suffered the most. Today, everything had vanished into thin air, and everything was over. Sealed Sky Island. The sound of crying was stuck in his throat. It was unpleasant to hear, and he didn't know why he was crying. Gong Yuzi, the master of the demon emperor, couldn't say why he was crying, but he was unwilling and indescribably sad. Jinner has left. Master, disciples should leave too. Gong Yuzi knelt on the ground and kowtowed towards Feng in the distance. Master, I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong back then. I shouldn't have raised him up. Today, ashes to ashes, ashes to ashes. 3,000 years of scheming has been in vain. Ha ha! Gong Yuzi staggered away while laughing. It was my fault. I was the one who succeeded, and I was the one who failed. This disciple of mine is a demon, but he still has feelings. On the other hand, I was heartless. There are no more demon emperors in this world. There are no more Gong Yuzi. The heaven-sealing bloodline. Today, I will betray it. Ha ha! In this world, who can control whose fate? They're all a bunch of pitiful people. You struggle, I struggle, but in the end, it's all for nothing. Ha ha, it's all for nothing. This sect leader, who used to be a romantic and elegant man, was crazy today, spouting nonsense. Dead. They're all dead. Purple Cap Mountain was gone, his disciple was gone. From the moment he walked out of Sealed Sky Island 3,000 years ago, he should have known that this day would come sooner or later. Unfortunately, it was too late. Jinner, all living beings are bitter. It's good that you're gone. It's good that you're gone. Gong Yuzi left, his whereabouts unknown. Today, he appeared and stopped Unquestionable Jian. Unquestionable Jian returned his kindness and gave his life away. Who was wrong? Perhaps I was wrong from the very beginning. Behind him, Feng opened his eyes and watched him leave. Seeing the last direct disciple of Heaven's Sealing Island leave, he suddenly laughed as blood gushed out of his mouth. Demon Emperor! Demon Emperor! After repeating this several times, blood gushed out once more. Feng laughed in self-mockery. What a great demon emperor! You destroyed my physical body and severed my origin. What a heaven-punishing sword! Suddenly, Feng burst into laughter. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong. I'm just trying to survive. Who's wrong? The fault of all living beings. The heavens have no eyes to begin with. I'll open the heavens' eyes. A loud shout resounded through the clouds. With a loud bang, the heaven-sealing island was instantly destroyed. The smoke and dust fell into the forbidden sea and disappeared without a trace. On the surface of the sea, Feng threw his head back and laughed loudly. With a splash, he plunged into the sea and disappeared in an instant. A moment later, several spiritual forces brushed past. Everything was calm and tranquil. Everything had long since disappeared. The demon emperor is heavily injured. The seal has disappeared. Gong Yuzi has gone deep into the sea of bitterness, and his whereabouts are unknown. What a pity. The heaven-sealing lineage has calculated everything, but in the end, it's all just an illusion. Who can understand the way of this world? Sighs resounded in all directions. Very soon, the sighs dissipated. The rain of blood was endless. In the fake sky grave, the sky was pitch black. Fong Ping was silent for a long time. He took out a pot of wine and poured it on the ground, saying softly, "Thank you very much. I'll send you on your way. Have a safe journey." The Demon Emperor was gone. The powerhouse who had gone through the era of sex, the royal court era, and the neo-martial arts era was gone. Fong Ping did not know why he changed his mind. The original Demon Emperor probably did not have this idea. Zhang Hao's existence meant that he still wanted to live a second life. Now, however, it had vanished into thin air. The origin planet was destroyed. The Demon Emperor had completely fallen. Sobs were heard. Someone was crying. It was Warlord's voice. He was mourning for the dead. Warlord, who was usually smiling brightly, was crying today. He knew. He remembered. He remembered everything in Purple Cat Mountain. He remembered everything in the past. He hated Unquestionable Jian for doing everything for revenge. He hated Unquestionable Jian for being heartless and scheming against all living beings. But today, that annoying guy was gone. Martial Uncle, bring me out to play. When I'm strong in the future, if anyone dares to say that you're a scammer, I'll beat them up for you. Martial Uncle, Master is in seclusion. Can you teach me Dao techniques? Martial Uncle, I'm at the Golden Body Realm. Martial Uncle, Unquestionable Jian has left. I'm sorry. Martial Uncle, the chubby warlord's tears were flowing in the void. It was extremely comical, but no one could laugh. The godly divination lord was dead, but he was still alive. It had been more than 300 years. There were always things that were hard to forget, but there were always things that could be remembered. Gong Yuzi. Seal. Warlord roared at the sky. The sky sealing bloodline. The sky sealing bloodline. Sighs could be heard from all directions. No one cared about Dotian's death. But the Demon Emperor's death shocked the powerhouses of the three realms. He represented an era in a valley. Gong Zhuanzi had a conflicted expression as he cupped his fists and said in a deep voice, "Rest in peace." He was very familiar with this competitor of the past. Back then, they drank together, fished together, and discussed the Tao together. He was the lord of Quokang Mountain, the top disciple of Purple Cap Mountain. They were good friends, until one day, he never stepped foot into Quokang Mountain again. Until one day, someone told him that he was foolish and that he should prove his Tao in this era. From that year onwards, the Demon Emperor was the Demon Emperor, and the North Sea was the North Sea. The death of Unquestionable Sword was completely out of everyone's expectations. That low-profile guy who had been dormant for many years used everything he had to slay Dotian. After slaying Dotian, he used up everything to slay Feng. However, the situation did not change with the death of Unquestionable Jian. Although King Sun and King Jin were injured by Unquestionable Jian, they still had 80% of their combat strength and were extremely powerful. With the death of Unquestionable Jian, the situation of humans worsened. At that moment, the situation of humans became even more dangerous. In the Spirit Emperor Dojo, Fong Ping poured out a pot of wine, leaving a small mouthful, and downed it in one gulp. Suddenly he laughed. The barefooted are not afraid of the barefooted. Now that you're wearing shoes, you're afraid? Even the Demon Emperor is not afraid of death. Who is afraid of death? If I'm not crazy, who else can go berserk? At that moment, Fong Ping's aura erupted and he roared. Humans, scatter and hide in different places. Warn me if you encounter an enemy saint. Today, I will slaughter all the enemies in this world. Of course, at that moment, someone roared. In the next moment, Fong Ping traversed the void, tore through space, and arrived here. Slay. Slay God. Slay saint. A saber illuminated heaven and earth. Rumble. When the saber was unleashed, the red heaven and earth became brighter. 3 sect protectors. Here, the 3 great sect protectors were not far from each other. They were killing and capturing humans separately. At that moment, Fong Ping's saber slayed the heavenly protector. At that moment, the other 2 great sect protectors hurried over. The few human paragons who were about to be captured looked at each other and suddenly smiled. Powerful enemies were attacking. They already knew everything that happened in the space battlefield. When the Saints arrived, they were no match for them. They were already prepared to die. No, they already knew on the day they came in. At that moment, the human paragons who were lucky enough to escape looked at Fong Ping. Some of them smiled in relief. The old ancestor of the Chun family, the powerhouse who had created the neo-martial arts, kicked Chen Yaozu, who was beside him. He laughed and roared, "We should have killed these bastards. Fong Ping, I've never regretted it. Never." In the next moment, this old man leaped into the air. His Tao was burning, his flesh was burning. With a roar, he broke through the void and grabbed the Earth Protector who wanted to capture him just now. An explosive rumble resounded through the void. On the other side, the path of the great sect protectors was also blocked. Almost in the blink of an eye, the humans who were blocking the way exploded. "Fong Ping, slay him." Someone roared. The three great sect protectors were inseparable. Even the heavenly kings could not kill them. Fong Ping injured the heavenly protector with one slash. The other two great sect protectors were too close. Fong Ping did not have time to kill the enemy. He could only exchange life for life. Take a gamble. Bet that Fong Ping could slay the powerful enemy in the time they bought. Kill a saint. Killing a saint. His death was worth it. Fong Ping's tears fell like rain. He did not dare to touch the three great sect protectors and the two catacombs kings because they knew the danger. They were inseparable and too difficult to kill. If he was surrounded, his life would be in danger. At this moment, the human powerhouses stood up one by one, using their lives to buy time for him. Kill the enemy. Die. Fong Ping erupted. His mentality exploded with a rumble. His golden body also exploded with a rumble. Origin descended, breaking through the other party's origin in an instant, hacking wildly. "You are crazy!" The heavenly protector roared. Unbelievable. Was he crazy? In order to kill him, Fong Ping was too crazy. Puff! His flesh exploded. Origin chi spread wildly, using his life to exchange for life. "Hurry!" the heavenly protector roared. "Hurry up and save him." On the other side, Chun Guyang's self-destruction delayed the Earth Protector for a moment. Chen Yaozu, who was kicked away, his eyes blood-red, screaming, "Father!" Seeing that the Earth Protector had shaken off the aftermath of the self-destruction, Chen Yaozu roared. His vitality surged. He wanted to hold him back. "It's not your turn." At this moment, a big monk broke through the air and roared. "It's not your turn." There were still many old guys in the 6 holy lands. Compared to them, Chen Yaozu could only be considered a small guy. "Human king, treat my ancient Buddha holy land well." Rumble. The sound of self-destruction was heard again. "Go to hell!" Fong Ping roared again, resounding in all directions. Crack. The sound of a Tao collapsing was heard. In the next moment, Fong Ping's flesh reappeared. His eyes were blood-red. He grabbed a saint's token and laughed. Bang! The heavenly protector's flesh exploded. His spiritual consciousness emerged. In the blink of an eye, his spiritual consciousness exploded. His Tao collapsed. He died with his eyes wide open. No! The two great heavenly protectors could not believe it. Without another word, they turned and ran. The Trinity had been united for many years. They could fight heavenly kings, but heavenly kings could not kill them. Today, they had only separated for a short distance. Who would have thought that in the blink of an eye, the heavenly protector would be killed? Running? Above Fong Ping's flesh, the imperishable substance tumbled. Origin chi erupted. With a slash, he roared, "Retreat! Retreat from this place. After I kill them all, I'll look for you." Fong Ping, go! Fong Ping roared. In a short moment, the three paragons had self-destructed. They could not afford to die. Chen Yaozu's eyes were bloodshot. He turned around and grabbed a broken token. It was his father's token. Without another word, he took to the air and left. The others also fled in all directions. At this moment, The two great heavenly protectors did not dare to turn around and fight. They did not even dare to attack the humans. They fled quickly. Rumble, the earthly protector, the only female among the three great heavenly protectors, the ancestor of earthly wisdom, staggered at this moment. Origin chi overflowed from her body. Heavenly protector screamed and roared, Tianbai, save me! The heavenly protector Tianli, the earthly protector Tianbai, and the earthly protector Tianhui, one of the 36 saints in the past. At this moment, following the death of Tianli, the remaining two were completely terrified. Tianhui was fighting with Fang Ping in the origin world, but her footsteps were delayed. At this moment, she roared fiercely. Tianbai came back, he could still fight. On the other side, the earthly protector's footsteps paused slightly. The three of them had fought together for thousands of years. Naturally, they still had feelings for each other. However, at this moment, when he saw King of War and King of Hell rushing here crazily from afar, he was scared. If the two venerable sovereigns self-detonated, no, if the two venerable sovereigns joined hands, they could delay him for a while without self-detonation. Once he was entangled, the consequences would be unimaginable. Buzz! The void was torn apart. Tianbai broke through the void and left without looking back. No! Tianhui roared, Sect leader, save me. A sharp roar reverberated in all directions. On the other side, King Kuan did not come, but King Sun's and King Jin's auras could be felt. They were rushing here quickly. No one can save you. Fang Ping also went crazy. You want to exterminate the human race? I'll make sure you suffer. Explode! Explode! His mentality self-detonated again and again. At this moment, Fang Ping did not care about the cracks anymore. In the origin world, the four fat babies repaired the cracks crazily. In the end, the fat babies sat by the lake in a daze. They could not repair the cracks anymore. After repairing one, three appeared immediately. It was so tiring. Every time his mentality self-detonated, Tianhui would be stagnant for a moment, and this moment was enough for Fang Ping to slash dozens of times. With a boom, the Tao roared and showed signs of breaking. Tianhui looked desperate and smiled miserably. Let's die together. There was a loud boom. An ancient sage self-detonated at this moment. The world was silent. In the distance, King Zhan and King Jin were sent flying. The world trembled again. On this day, two heavenly kings and two ancient sages died in battle. Fear began to spread. Bastard! A fierce roar reverberated in all directions. King Kuan's voice came from afar. He roared, Fang Ping, go to hell! At this moment, Fang Ping's body appeared again. His face was so pale that it was unbearable. He roared, Today, I'll kill all the people in your cult. I'll let you live alone. Li Zhu, Hong Yu, none of you can escape. Go! Fang Ping roared at King Zhan and King Jin. Go kill those true gods. At most, we'll die together. Hearing this, the two emperors did not say anything else. They fled frantically and flew into the distance. Fang Ping also did not stop. He grabbed the second saint's token that he had just obtained in the origin realm and fled quickly. King Sun and King Jin were flying at high speed behind him. King Sun grabbed in the direction where Fang Ping disappeared. He tore the void, but there was nothing there. Bastard! The two heavenly kings were furious. On the other side, Fang Ping descended again. He slashed down with his saber. A true god who was fleeing in panic was smashed into pieces by Fang Ping without caring where he came from. In the blink of an eye, Fang Ping tore the void and fled. Was it more crazy than this? Come on, I'll kill all your subordinates. I'd like to see what will be left of you in the end. Fang Ping tore the void again. He saw a saint with bloodshot eyes. Hand over the saint's token. Before this person finished speaking, Fang Ping's mentality exploded instantly. He broke into the origin realm again and slashed with his saber. His body flew forward and punched. 9 saints' tokens suppressed the surroundings. Hand it over! A terrified roar was heard. In the next moment, a saint's token appeared. This member of the 36 saints was terrified at this moment. If it was any other time, he wouldn't hand over his saint's token. But today, Fong Ping's eyes were bloodshot. Two of the three great sect protectors were dead. He had just met Fong Ping, and Fong Ping fought him with his life before he could finish speaking. How would he dare to not hand it over? Fong Ping, who was bloodshot, grabbed the saint's token, struggled for a moment, and left. He had already offended the other party. He wanted to kill him as well. But killing the saint would definitely waste time. The two heavenly kings were still chasing after him. If it wasn't for the fact that his aura was restrained and the void fluctuations were hard to capture, he would have been caught by the two heavenly kings. Just as Fong Ping left, the two heavenly kings arrived. They looked at the saint and snorted coldly. The ancient saint didn't say anything. He lowered his head and was ready to escape at any time. He knew that the two heavenly kings were angry that he gave them the saint's token. But he didn't want to die. The humans had already gone crazy. At this moment, there were battles everywhere. The roars were endless. The great Tao collapsed, the sky fell, and the earth cracked. True gods fell one after another. There were humans and other forces. Human life was like grass. At this moment, could it be that they would fight Fong Ping to the end for the saint's token? Just as the two heavenly kings were about to continue chasing, Fong Ping roared, "God creation envoy, hold one of them back." On the other side, the two catacombs kings were flight step. Behind them, there was a person sitting on Li Wuji's body, the God creation envoy. The God creation envoy glanced at the two kings. Without any nonsense, he quickly broke through the air. At this moment, a giant hand grabbed the two kings and grabbed them. Hong Yu's voice was heard. "I have no intention of participating in the battle." As soon as he finished speaking, Hong Yu grabbed the two kings and fled. Fong Ping's eyes were cold. Previously, King Kuan and the others asked the two kings to attack and capture the humans. Why didn't you stop them? They all deserved to die. None of them were good. But now, since Hong Yu had withdrawn, Fong Ping did not say a word. It might be better if this guy did not interfere. Fong Ping did not stay and left in the blink of an eye. The God creation envoy did not care and continued to return to Li Wuji's body, waiting for the two heavenly kings to arrive. In the next moment, the two heavenly kings arrived. The God creation envoy said leisurely, "I'm an avatar. Kill me. I'll definitely kill you later. If you don't believe me, try it." He was only an avatar. If he died, he would only lose a semi-divine weapon. But these two fellows, unless they did not go out, he would not let them go. Li Wuji's legs were trembling. He was afraid and terrified. The aura of the two heavenly kings was too strong. King Sun and King Jin looked at each other, their eyes burning. The God creation envoy was not afraid. He curled his lips. "I'm an avatar. The longer you delay, the better. If you kill me, then kill me. As for Li Wuji, consider it unlucky. It would not be too late to settle the score with these two fellows after he left." The two heavenly kings snorted coldly. In the next moment, King Sun attacked. With a single strike, more than half of his avatar dissipated. He snorted coldly again and left quickly. Yes, it was useless to kill him. However, he had to prevent the God creation envoy from helping Fong Ping kill the saint when his strength was at its peak. The God creation envoy sneered and did not retaliate. After they left, he said contemptuously, "Trash. I'll kill you sooner or later." The two of them did not even dare to kill his avatar. What else did they dare to do? They could only bully a newbie like Fong Ping. Among the veteran heavenly kings, who would they dare to offend? In all directions, a great battle erupted. The sounds of killing shook the heavens. The rain of blood could not stop. The sky was splitting open. If not for the fact that this was the king's dojo, the battle today would have broken this world. At the entrance, Juan was dumbfounded. So chaotic? So savage? Two ancient sages had fallen one after another. One had to know that even 8,000 years ago, during the chaotic era, it was not as chaotic as this. Heavenly kings and saints fell without a care for their lives. Juan was stunned. Was he still called Juan? This damn place was too chaotic. Did saints not need money? F***ck. If I had known, I wouldn't have come in. Luan was a little speechless. This place was filled with heavenly kings, their auras exploding. There were powerhouses everywhere. Saints were running for their lives. Heavenly kings were angry, and emperor true gods were fighting. It was a mess. At this moment, many powerhouses fought to his side. Scram! Someone shouted angrily. Luan was blocking the way. This person was being chased by Shun Hao Yin and the god of war. He was also an emperor true god, but he was fleeing in a panic. He did not care so much. Someone was blocking his escape route. He did not sense any auras, but it was not a heavenly king or saint that he knew. Other than heavenly kings and saints, they were weak. Perhaps they were heavily injured? Before this person finished thinking, Luan's expression turned cold. You scolded me? You dare scold me? I am number one in the world. Who dares to scold me? I will kill you. Luan let out a deep roar and punched out. The void shattered. The sixth heaven was broken. Vaguely, the seventh heaven was also breaking. The fleeing venerable emperor looked terrified. Heavenly king. A heavenly king who broke 6, no, maybe 7. Where did this heavenly king come from? There was a loud boom. There was no time for him to think. The next moment, this venerable emperor was directly smashed into pieces by Luan's punch. His great Tao collapsed, leaving no trace. Behind, Shun Hao Yin and the others were stunned. Then, Shun Hao Yin shouted, "Thank you, Heavenly King, for helping to kill the evil sect's protector." The one who had just died was one of the evil sect's 8 protectors. Luan looked at him, frowned, and cursed in his heart. You want to divert the trouble? Do you think I am stupid? Do you think I can't tell? Do you think I am Luan for nothing? At this moment, in the distance, someone scolded angrily. ****. How dare you? King Kuin was furious. Who killed his people? Heavenly King? Where did this Heavenly King come from? This place was sealed. There was no Heavenly King. Did Shun Hao Yin and the others really think they could fool people? Luan was stunned for a moment, and his face was full of anger. I just came in and didn't offend anyone, but I was scolded twice in one go. The first time he told me to get lost, and the second time, he scolded me as a ****. Isn't this that old brat Hong Kuin? The next moment, Luan roared, Hong Kuin, you old turtle, how dare you scold me? I will break your bones. With a boom, the void was pierced. Luan howled, under the stunned gazes of Shun Hao Yin and the others. He broke through the void and charged into the space battlefield. At this moment, King Kuin, who was still besieging Heavenly King, was suddenly stunned. Then his expression changed, and he couldn't help but curse. ****, his ancestors. Luan, it's this guy? How did he get in? At this moment, Heavenly King subduing was also stunned for a moment. He opened his eyes and looked at the outside world. Then, he looked at Hong Kuin with a blank expression. There was such a thing? Luan was here. But this guy who wanted to see the world in chaos was scolded as soon as he arrived. Was Hong Kuin being scolded? You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.